Good morning and welcome to Sewing Street. I'm John Cole Morgan and I'm so happy to have you with me this gorgeous morning. Look at the sunshine. It was a glorious sunrise this morning. Really glad you could be with me. And because you're our early birds, look what we've got. The most fantastic early bird special we've had in a very long while. And this is only for 24 hours. We are only doing the early birds now, all while stock lasts. Before they used to be on the website until they sold out, but this is only available for 24 hours. And what an amazing deal you're getting. This is half a meter of Henry glass, and then we've got, oh my gosh, it's just the most fantastic range that we've had recently. I'm going to show you this first. Because it is just beautiful. Look at that lovely, wonderful, gorgeous spring bouncy birdness. It's just brilliant. And with this, and then the other meter of fabric that I'm going to show you for the coordinates, it's £10.97 for today, saving you £3. Just look how beautiful that is. It just really springs, it speaks completely of spring. Oh, it's just such gorgeous fabric, this one. And we've shown it a couple of times in bigger bundles. And I was in love with it then, and I'm more in love with it now that it's so cheap. And it's definitely going to be out. Everything in this bundle. So that's the half meter of Henley glass. And is this the vanilla? I'm just going to double check what colour this is, because look, it's just lovely, gorgeous colour. And what I'm going to do is, while I've got that there, and look there, you can see how beautifully that goes there. Now, all of you know we are working very hard to make sure we can stay on air and do everything possible. We have had a slight website glitch this morning. So, my lovely early birders, if you're wanting to purchase the early bird today, please make sure that you search by the code. So the code you've got there is UEXC 23, Uniform Echo X-Ray Charlie 23. And I could do it in my head before I went on air. Sorry about that. But it's, yes, we're all doing the best that we can. We just had a little bit of a website hiccup at the moment. So you will need to search for it. And what a great deal in order to search for. So those are the two colours. We've just confirmed this is cream as the background, and this gorgeous Henry glass, and then this fabulous lavender. It's just such a beautiful purple colour, this. So you're almost getting half a metre for free, actually. Well, actually, I think it's it's almost half a metre of these coordinates, because look at that colour. And what I'll do now is I'll just show you while that's out. Just look how well that goes with the Henry glass. It's just beautiful. It's just very well coordinated. We have a very clever design team getting these correctly in the right colourway. Really lovely. So that's half a metre of the lavender, half a metre of the cream, and half a metre of the Henry glass. If you haven't seen this Henry glass before, let me open this up and you can see the detailing on it. It's just fabulous. And the colourway that you're seeing now is the colourway of the fabric. But the bird cages, they just scream of happiness and tweeting joy, and they just always look so happy. I've never seen an unhappy bird. I just love this. But look at the detailing on this fabric. It is just so cute. I don't know what type of birds they are. It would be really nice, actually, if you are a bird lover and you know what birds these are, drop us a message on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/sewingstreettv. Send us a message in if you know what birds these are, because look how cute they are. Where are we there? Just look how cute they are. But the detailing here are these beautiful little twirls of the flowers. Oh, I don't know what you call those. Are these? I think they're hydrangeas. Actually, I don't think these are the hydrangeas. I don't know what name of the flowers are. If you know the name of the flower, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. But just such a great deal on this today. Unfortunately, you'll need to search by the code, which is UEXC23. Unfortunately, we just had a slight website hiccup this morning. So do search for it. It is on there. It's just unfortunate you've got to search for it. And all the stock available in here is unfortunately your last chance to get it. So you're getting a half metre of that gorgeous Henry glass, you're getting half a metre of the cream, and you're getting half a metre of the lavender. And if I do that, you can see them all. If I do that, you can see more of it. You get half a metre of all three of those fabrics. So it's 1.5 metres of fabric for £10.97. It's such a great deal. And don't forget, we've got our one-day P&P, which means you're paying £3.95 for your postage and packaging. So if you purchase this now, your P&P is paid for the day. You've got no more P&P to pay for the rest of the day with the... Sorry? Oh my goodness, so we are now doing a stock update. It hasn't even been 10 minutes of the show. We are 50% sold out on this bundle. So please, if you are interested in it, don't hang around. It's going to be if you don't purchase this now and leave it out of your if you don't check out of your basket, someone can nick it out of your basket, and more than 50% has gone so quickly. Don't leave them behind. And the great thing with this is even if you don't want to use the lavender and the cream together with the Henry Glass, they can go in your stash, and you can just let that be the star of whatever it is you're doing. But I personally think that the three of those together go so well together. Such a great project there. Bags, any form of placemats, things like that. Even like a little mini kaleidoscope with one of those rulers we did last week. They'd be really, really great. So don't hang around on that. £10.97. Don't forget to search for the code on the website. Uniform Echo X-Ray Charlie 23 UEXC23, and it's for today only. Our early birds are going back to one day only, no longer while stocks last. Fabulous product there. Enjoy that. And well done if you've got it. Congratulations. Really great deal on you there. I am so excited. I've got lots and lots of stuff to show you today, and new stuff as well, which I love new stuff. But I'm good. So, the first one we're going to show, which I am beyond excited, because the first time I saw this was with Debbie Shaw. These were delivered yesterday. Literally fresh off the truck. They arrived yesterday, and the first time I saw these, Debbie Shaw was showing them, and I just saw the colours on screen, and I just clapped with glee. They are just beautiful. So if you haven't seen these before, these are polyester embroidery machine threads and a thread organizer. You're getting 50 spools, and each spool has, I'm just double checking, 500 meters. So you're getting 500 meters. What's that, 2.5 kilometers? I think that's 25 kilometers, isn't it? But look at that, such a great deal for £50. So you're effectively paying £1 a spool for 500 meters of it. 25,000 meters, which is 25 kilometers. Really, really lovely. But not only is the price good, and the amount that you're getting amazing. Just look at these colours. Someone's played with that one. But look at that. You got the gorgeous yellow, got this brown. Literally every colour you need. And I'm not going to show them all out. But the great thing with this is, now I have an embroidery machine and I never use it very often, but when I do, I want to have that perfect colour. And just look at this pink. Is that just not the most gorgeous pink to be able to use on any product, on any design? So if you're looking for flowers or things like that, that would just work perfectly. And I'm just looking at these, I'm spoiled for choice, because I love this. You've got this coral colour, but then you've got this gorgeous pink with them. And they're just slightly different, but so perfect for any form of project. I love doing flowers on my embroidery machine because it works so beautifully. And all of these different colours and hues, a lot of flowers call for slightly different shades. But if you're doing a pink rose, for example, just let me rearrange these as I rearrange my little pink rose that I'm doing in my head. Look at that. Just look at those beautiful hues there. They just work so beautifully together. So it's less than £1 a spool for 500 meters all the way along. And what is so lovely is it's got I'm going to take the cover off this one because it's half off already. But what I love about it is the thread is actually, look at that, it's really, really shiny. So when you stitch out with that, you're going to have that gorgeous sheen on your embroidery, which is lovely. I think that's gorgeous. And I need to play with these. I need to set them on my embroidery machine and just go with them. And at that price, what a great deal. So you've got so many different colours here. I haven't even put them all out yet. But what I'm going to show you is once I've got these all out is, most of you know I'm a long arm quilter as well. I'm taking these all out. I can't stop, I'm sorry. But what's so important is the box. Because with mine, I've got one of these. Now you pay, I think I paid £15 for the last box that I bought. So the box alone is such a great deal. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry. I just keep finding these gorgeous colours. Look at that grey. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, that's going to the front of the queue. And look at that one. Every single time you pull a... Oh, and the blue. Oh. So anyone who is counting, there are only 49 in here. I don't know why. One has obviously been popped into one of the embroidery machines to test. You will get 50 of them, but they just, look how many there are. It's wonderful. And each colour that comes out gets me a little bit more, oh goodness me, look at that. Just as a plain white, just has got that lovely sheen on it. So we've had them on the show a couple of times, and every single time we put it on, it sells out. And you can see why. Just look how look at that one. That absolute gorgeous copper colour, absolutely stunning. And I don't know if that's a minty one or a yellow, a lemon. I'm going to call it mint lemon because that is lovely. But talking of mint, look at that one. Honestly, the colours on these are absolutely incredible. And they are sold as the embroidery machine as threads as well, which I think is really important. You need to make sure that you've got a proper embroidery thread for your machines. This is a beautiful chocolate brown, absolutely stunning. And look at that little buttercup yellow. And you can see the slight difference in colours between the threads, which I love because you're always, whatever project you're doing, you're always potentially a shade or two out from the colour you're looking for. And the great thing they've done here is they've thought about that and they've given you all these different options of all these different shades. It's just perfect. And then you've got this fabulous box that you can store everything in, which is just fantastic. And you can see all the little spools go on there. And as I said, the one I purchased for my long arm quilting machine was £15 just for the box. And when you buy new ones of these, you just then keep plopping it in as you go along. I'm going to now try and colour range these as I go back in, aren't I? Such a great, great colourway, this. Really loving these. So while I'm popping all these back in, some of you may not have shopped with us before, so let me tell you how you do that. There are a few ways. We've got our website, which is www.sewingstreet.com. Failing that, if you aren't enjoying, don't want to use the website for any reason, you can call our UK-based call centre, which is 0800 001 4433. And anybody there who answers the phone will be able to answer any questions or queries that you have, anything you want to ask about the products, they'll be able to give you a hand with that with pleasure. And also, if you want to stay in touch with us on our social media platforms, we've got a few ways you can do that as well. We've got our Facebook page run by the channel, which is www.facebook.com/Sewing Street. That's our Sewing Street page. So if you wanted to message into the studio, which we love getting your messages, please do. Drop us a message on that Sewing Street TV page, and that's monitored all the way through the show. So if you have any questions or queries, or you want to see a product that I've shown already that you may want to just ask a question about, drop us a line. We can then show it while I'm here. And then we've also got our Instagram page, which is @Sewing Street. We've also got our Facebook fans page as well, which is a wonderful group. You've got all these people who've got loads of different ideas and such fantastic talent sharing their different projects that they've been making. It's a wonderful little community there. So do follow us on that as well. And then also we have our Make of the Week every week. So every week we're so impressed by all of your different skills and everything that you're making. We try and be able to celebrate one person each, 3 people each week by picking Make of the Week. And if you win Make of the Week, you get free postage and packaging on your next order. You just message in for your code once your name's been called, and you get given the code and you get free P&P. And I'm so impressed I got these all back in the shop. Are you sure we're missing one? Are you sure we're missing one? Everything's now in the box. So there we go. Those are your 50, I think they're 50 threads. That's full up. Don't know where they've gone, but there you go. You've got your 50 threads there in this gorgeous, gorgeous... I've tried to do your little rainbow all the way along. My husband would be very happy because he loves a good rainbow. He keeps coming to my studio and rearranging the fabric in the correct order. It's wonderful. And you also get this fabulous box in order to store all of these with. 50 spools, 500 meters per spool, giving you 25 kilometers of the most fabulous 100% polyester machine embroidery thread. Lovely, lovely product. Make sure you check out on that. Now we got fabric, and you know how excited I get. We've got this wonderful hummingbird fabric. This is a bundle today from Lewis and Irene. It's 2.5 meter bundle. Oh, there we go. I'm getting better at putting these in the right places. 5 different pieces there, 1/2 meter of each one. We have asked if we can get some more of these because now, you know I like to tell you when there's a stock warning. There are 5 left, only 5. So the good thing with this is you can tell Lewis and Irene, an amazing, amazing brand, but having only 5 left, you make sure that you want to get it because we're going to try and get it again. But the problem is with all of these fabrics, you may not get one fabric. And just look how gorgeous this combination of colours is. You don't want to miss out on all of those. Really, really lovely collection there. 5 different 1/2 meter bundles. And just look at the detailing on all these. Now we have got 2 that we can bring you by the 1/2 meter, which if I'm not mistaken is that one and then the one at the back. So these 2 we can bring you by the 1/2 meter. I'll show you these later. So this one, shall I show you these now while we're going? So this one's by the 1/2 meter is available, but just such a gorgeous colorway this. $6.99 by the 1/2 meter. And this one's called Blossoms on Cream, 1/2 meter by Lewis and Irene. But look at the detailing on these. They are just gorgeous. See, what I always find really interesting is the number of colors that they put into each of these different flowers. They're absolutely incredible. They are so clever. And you look at this light pink with a dark pink, and they've got a hint of green in there, and there's a little dot of green on the edge there. It's just really cleverly thought out. Happy, happy collection. And of course, you know I love my salvages. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cute with the little things there? I love a good salvage. So these are available by the 1/2 meter, as well as in our gorgeous bundle that we've got. Well, only 5 of our gorgeous bundles left. So that's one of the fabrics in there. That's the first one. Let me show you the second one that's available by the 1/2 meter, which is also called Blossoms, but it's on a different colorway at the back. So this one's called Blossoms on Pink. And look at that. Again, $6.99 by the 1/2 meter. And it's just, and here they've got it looks a bit like a purple, but again, it's that same dark pink. And green in the middle, which just, because it's on a slightly darker colorway, it just makes it pop a little bit darker. It's beautiful. Really, really clever colorway then. So these are the only 2 that we've got available on their own. And now let me show you the other 3 fabrics in this gorgeous bundle set. Now these are available on the website, and you can search these as the bundle or as individually. They should be back up and running and all good on the website. But look at this one. Look at that. Does that just not scream spring happiness? It's wonderful. Such gorgeous colors on this. So this one's not available by the 1/2 meter. This is available in our bundle. You're getting a 1/2 meter piece of this, and I'm going to show you the detailing on this as well. Just fabulous. But look at these leaves. You can see these beautiful, beautiful pink stripes all the way through the leaves here. And I'll just slide that way. Look at that. And you can just see the detailing on that is so beautiful. And then over here, the little dots, and oh, it's just so cleverly done. And I'm going to slide this down so you can see the flower above. Look how clever that is, just by putting these little lines in there. It just brings that whole flower. And even this one over here, which is much more subtle with those beautiful white lines. And again, the detail that they've got here, I think that's 3 different pinks in that middle piece there. It's just, and here as well, the detailing that has gone into this is just fantastic. Really beautiful, beautiful colorway, that. So this is only available in our bundle here. Only had 5 of the bundles as I started explaining them. So that is our 3rd fabric in our 5 fabric collection here. And I'm going to save my favorite for last. Look at this one. I know we shouldn't have favorites, but we all do. We just don't like talking about it because people think we're bad. I've just had Kat say in my ear, my mom and dad are always telling me my brother's their favourite. I love that. I think that's so funny because we know it's not true, but anyway. Ah, that's very clever. She was just saying now, she's their favourite daughter and he's their favourite son. Nice way that they have a son and a daughter. But just look and here, these detailing is so beautiful with all these gorgeous dots here. That's a thread, it's not anything there. And again, these beautiful, clean, fresh lines of these leaves and flowers. It's just so crisp and fresh. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really, really well done. Again, Lewis and Irene have knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. Really lovely collection, this. So this one I've shown you 4 of these half meters. That's 4 of the 5 half meters you're getting in this gorgeous bundle today for $33.99. And my absolute favorite, which I am loving, is this one. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Really, really, really lovely. So this is a dark navy background with the same flowers as that pink one, but just look how it pops. It's just gorgeous. And just a nice... The great thing with fabrics like this is you can now match all of these with any form of coordinating fabric and you'll easily be able to make that work. And I'm just, because, you see, I'm always looking for stack and wax fabrics. So I'm looking at this and seeing how big the repeat is. So it's 6 inches is the repeat, which I know now I've got to get 48 inches of this, so at least 2 meters of this, but they don't have it. They've only got it in the half meters. But such a great, great fabric. And you can just see all the detailing on all these. Just absolutely stunning. We're hoping we're going to be able to get some more in on this. But unfortunately, where we are at the moment, this is all we have. We only had 5 of these when I started. This is the 5 half meters. Oh, there are only 2 left. So if you are interested, please don't hang around. I'm going to just pop that back in there. And I'm going to pop that back in there. Look how beautiful these are. So that is our half meter bundle collection of the Hummingbird by Lewis and Irene. And look how beautiful they are. £33.99 for those 5 half meters. And there are less than, well, there were only 2 left at the time of the live feed for this morning. So please don't hang around if you're interested in it. And remember, if you put it in your basket, unfortunately, until you've checked out, it's not yours and somebody can take it out of your basket. So if you do want it, make sure you check out now. Only 1 day P&P, that's whether you check out on the website or on the through the call center. So you can do that any way you like. You're only paying the 1 P&P for the whole day. So now, I'm going to show you now something that we've never had on the show before. We have got real, genuine leather fabric. Now, we've never had this on the show before, but we've got 2 colorways. One is a completely black colorway, which is this one, and this one is a mixed colorway. And then in here we've got a tan, we've got a red. I thought I saw a nice little blue in there as well. So these will be completely mixed each time you get them. Are these sold by the weight? They're 2 kilograms of leather. Now, many of you haven't used leather before. It's one of those nature's, I think they're a fabulous fabric. Only thing when you use it is obviously if you stitch through it and you've made a mistake, your stitch mark's there forever. But what amazing product. And they come in all these different shapes and sizes. And the good thing is you can do proper patchwork with this. It's a really nice quality leather on it as well, really supple. You've got these chalk lines on them, but that's absolutely fine because all you do, you just rub them and they come off. You don't even need to wash it, you just wipe it off with a damp cloth. That'll come off very, very easily. These, what would you make for them? You can make anything. I have seen leather quilts, bags, purses, cushions even. You've got people who make cushions and then, or if they're going to be putting things in the garden, this is the most gorgeous, gorgeous backing for anything you're going to be using in the garden because the leather is so durable, you can use it anywhere. If you're looking to reupholster furniture, you know, you can do this and piece them all together. But look at that piece. Now, obviously, each bag that you get will be different. You're not going to all get one giant piece of tan like that or cream like that. But every single bag has got 2 kilograms of different shaped, and this one's a slightly thinner leather, which has just got the most beautiful feel to it. This one's slightly thicker, which I think is a little bit softer, but this one's a little bit thinner, and it's just this, oh my goodness, look at this color. Look at that. That is just the most gorgeous, gorgeous colorway to do this. And for the price of $34.99 for 2 meters, it's just 2 kilograms. It's too early. I haven't had enough coffee this morning. But just the colors of these fabrics, of these leathers, is amazing. Look at that red. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. But these ones with the white lines, don't worry about the white lines because it's just chalk and you just rub it off and it'll come off with that. You just get a bit of a damp cloth or a wet wipe and that'll come off. But the colours are so great. And then you've got the traditional black that you would be using. And again, in South Africa, when I was there, they used to do these amazing patchwork jackets. And that's making a bit of a comeback at the moment, these patchwork jackets, because there's literally no piece of this that you would waste. You would just literally piece them all together and do this amazing, crazy scrapwork quilt on that, or as a jacket or clothing. But the great thing is if you did do a quilt, putting that on the back side with the leather on the ground, you could use it as a picnic quilt. And there's so much here, you can just see how much fabric you've got. So with the seam allowance on leather, I reckon you'd still be using your 1/4 inch. I wouldn't think you'd need more than that because the fabric is so stable and so strong. 1/4 inch should be absolutely fine. Just change the needle in your machine and obviously check that your machine is able to deal with leather. And you do buy a leather needle, it's a lot thicker than a normal needle and it will go through really comfortably. So if you do use a normal needle on the leather and it does snap your thread, go up a needle size, that'll be it. And again, you've got this gorgeous colour here as well. Just stunning. And again, here you've got a bit of a black chalk mark. Literally, you just rub them off and it comes off. You can see there, I'm not even using any liquid or anything and it's coming off. Just stunning. Really lovely. Oh, look at this dark brown as well. And this is all 100% genuine leather here. So it's a really, really lovely, lovely collection, this. 2 kilograms of assorted colours. And you can see there's a huge amount here. Really, really lovely. And again, don't worry about these chalk marks because they literally, you can see there, it's just rubbing off as I'm touching it. And it's almost completely gone there. So you can see it's almost completely gone. You just need a little bit of a wet towel, a wet cloth, and it will rub off completely. So don't worry about the chalk marks. That's absolutely fine. And that's just such a lovely, lovely product. This is our Calloway, which is mixed. It'll come in a gorgeous bag like this, all weighed up to 2 kilograms, 2 kilometers, I almost said again. And it's just a nice way as well. If you're wanting to try using leather before, you know, I've gone to some of the shops to buy big giant pieces of leather and they're hundreds of pounds sometimes. They're really expensive. And it's a nice way of doing this is it's not that expensive in order to give this a bit of a go and a try. And they're small enough pieces that you'd feel confident enough using. Because if you're just using a little piece this size and you're wanting to test how to do it, you can see that's a nice small size. And then if you want another size, you just reach into your bag and find another piece that would work. I'm trying to find one that's not attached. But you can see, it's small enough pieces that you don't mind actually trying to use the fabrics together. So it's a really nice little trial way of doing it. But you can do anything with these. You can make key rings, bookmarks, and it's a great way to practice and trial and to make some different small household products that you actually potentially would have used normal fabric for, but the normal fabric isn't quite sturdy enough for it to have lasted. So little purses, anything. There's loads of different options on it. So that's the Calloway, which has got the multicolored. We called it the mixed collection, various colors. So that's the code there you've got on the screen at the moment, $34.99. Let me show you the same 2 kilogram bag, but only in the black. So really, it's just the most gorgeous. And I'm sorry, I love leather, so the smell of it is just real, honest to God leather. Look at that. Huge pieces on this as well. Again, you've got the little chalk marks on it, which will rub off, and you can just tell it's just such a great quality on it. Look at that as well. So it's this way, and I've not worked with suede before. I wondered if you could use this the other way. And you could have the suede on the outside and the leather on the inside of a purse or something. But the great thing with this product, being such a good price and having smaller pieces, you'll be able to then give that a go and try it. I wonder if you could put zips in these. I'm sure you could. And the great thing is there's loads of books and tons of different information and videos on YouTube as well. Oh, this one's been seamed already. Oh, that's a very good seam. Really good. So really lovely, lovely leather again. Look at this. That's great pieces as well. You can see that's a really nice big piece there. But again, if you're wanting to make a black jacket or something like that, really nice way of doing it and giving it a bit of a go. And you can see these pieces are huge. Oh, I'm hearing they're selling quite well today. That's really good to hear. But I'm not surprised because it's such an interesting thing to buy and to give it a bit of a try. Because the good thing is that you're going to get a different size piece every time. If you bought 2 bags, but each bag would be totally different because of how they're cut out. But I'm just looking at this and all the different ideas, because you can see that's a small little piece there. And if you're just looking for a little change purse, for myself, I used to have a wallet which had a pocket in with change, and my wallet got stolen, unfortunately, in my shop. And I've never been able to replace the wallet because the wallet was from my grandmother many, many years ago. But I've been able to replace the wallet-ish because it doesn't have a coin purse on it. So now I'm looking for a coin purse, and I'm just looking at that. Actually, that's the same fabric as my wallet. That is a little coin purse. Be perfect. And it's not very big. So if you made something really small, you can see that's just a small little thing that you could make with it. And also, I just think it's the ideas are limitless on this. Really, really lovely product, this. I'm hoping there's some left until I get off air. That would be good. So that's the 2 kilogram of assorted leather shapes coming in for, that's just the black colourway, $34.99 as well. And there's a huge amount here, you can see. I kind of want to lay it out all over the counter to see how much you get, but it won't matter because the 2 kilos would work out to roughly the same size all the way along. And it's just a lovely, lovely combination there. 2 kilograms of black leather there, $34.99. And we've also got the 2 kilograms of the various colours there, $34.99. Really lovely product. First time that's on the show today, and I'm going to pop these on the floor just because I don't want them to fall over. Wonderful. So we've now got, I've just got a few little crumbs on the thing here. Just going to get those off here. And this board, I'm so excited, back in stock today. It's going to be here all day today. So that's available online as well. This is our 34-inch by 22-inch millwood self-healing cutting mat. Now, again, I am incredibly sad to see this is the last of our stock of this one at the moment. This is our, is it the Winterbourne? This is the Winterbourne House Liberty Collection. There are 11 fat quarters in this neutral grey colourway, and we've only got a few of these left, unfortunately. So I'll show you each one as we go. There are 11 in total. That's our first one. I just love that. Really beautiful, delicate florals. This one I love. It's like a, I think they call that the ditzy flower collection. I have a friend who knows every single Liberty fabric ever made. She knows all the names of them. She's very clever. Again, for EPP, this is the most perfect fabric collection for EPP as well. And the great thing is with these are fat quarter sizes as well. So you've got loads of fabric on that as well. And it's just the detailing is so beautiful. And of course, Liberty having that wonderful archive of fabric collections. They've got so many different options that they can choose for their colorway. I have to show you this one up loud. It is absolutely my favorite one of all of the Liberty collections. Look at that. It's just beautiful. I think this is called the Lemon collection. It's just gorgeous. I love this. Even though the lemons are actually red in this, so I'm going to just assume they may be grapefruits or something. But they're just beautiful. And then we've got this one as well. Just the detailing on them is so beautiful. And unfortunately, because we're coming to the end of the collection, we're not sure whether we'll be able to get these in again. Wow, I'm just hearing now this is selling really well this morning. We have 3 of these left. So if you are interested, gosh, we're doing really well on our stock today. You're loving what we're bringing you, which we love, but only 3 of these left as I'm talking right now. Obviously that changes by the minute. If it is in your basket and you are interested in it, if you haven't checked out, unfortunately the product's not yours. Oh, I'm now hearing there's only 2 left. So if it's in your basket, please don't hang around. We don't want you to miss out. Really lovely product this, and you can just see the detailing of these liberties. And as we all know, once it's gone, and we're not sure we'll be able to get it back in again. And the fabric runs, they only do them the once, so we're never quite sure whether we're able to get them back. So this is all 11 of these, there we go, I think I've got them all in now. All 11 fat quarters in the grey neutral colourway there from the Winterbourne House range. And the colourway is just so beautiful and so in. Grey and pink is such a great colour to be decorating your home with. So whether this be for quilts, cushions, anything in the kitchen even, or placemats, anything, this is just such a lovely product. Oh, I've just heard now, only 1 left. So if you've got that in your basket, please don't hang around. I don't want you to miss out. So yeah, don't hang around with those. So now we have brought you things we've had on in the past. I'm now going to bring you things that we've never had on before. These are the most fabulous quilting labels. I'm going to do the blue and pink one first. And just look how cute these are. Exclusive to Sewing Street. You can't get them anywhere else. But the great thing with this is, just look how clever they are. They're so cute. But it's a great way of personalizing anything that you're making. You know, if you're making any form of clothing or any form of quilt or anything like that, it's always nice to be able to put a label on. And you can see these ones that are in your screen at the moment, these square ones. Those are perfect if you're making any form of clothing. And look at that, made with love, with those beautiful sewing machines on there as well. Absolutely lovely. 100% cotton. You can use any form of fabric marker or biro, or you can just embroidery stitch on each one of these as well. It's entirely up to you. And you can see just such a lovely colourway there. And the good thing is at the moment is we've all got a little bit more time, so we are able to give turn our hand to making things ourselves. What a lovely way of doing these. Got 27 of these different labels in total. So you're paying just under 30 pence per label. And you can just see, like, you can imagine that being sewn into the collar of someone's shirt or anything that you're making with these. It's just a beautiful way of marking something that you've made. Again, you've got the 1 P&P all day, so if you've purchased our early bird already, you'll have paid your P&P through the day, and you won't pay it again, whether that's on the website or whether you call into the call centre, or if you purchase on the website, then call into the call centre, you're only paying the 1 P&P all day. These labels are so pretty. What we've done is we've also created a second colourway for you here, which is orange and teal, and this is just such a fresh colour as well. You would have heard our pitter-patter of our lovely camera lady coming in, running around, coming to make sure, because we're all social distancing and making sure that everything's safe. We've got the lovely cat running in and out of the director's box and doing the camera as well. Many hands make light work, isn't it? But again, these are the most lovely little colourway and the lovely little fabrics here. They're really great. They're gorgeously vibrant colours as well. Totally exclusive to Sewing Street. Can't get these anywhere else. I just love these little hexagons on the different labels. You've got all the hexagons there, and you've got hexagons on this one as well, and on this one. It's just very cleverly thought out. I love these. Really, really fun, that. Really like those. These again, $7.99 for 27 different labels. Nice little product to have in your fabric arsenal. But the great thing with this is it's one of the, I'm just looking at them now and thinking, I actually really like both of these colours, because everything that you make, I think what's really sad, especially with quilts, is people don't put labels on them, and you don't actually have any provenance on these quilts. And certainly I like buying a lot of old quilts, and I just wish somebody, even with a marker pen, had just written on the back just the date, just the name. It would just be nice to know who they're from. So these labels are really good to be able to then mark the provenance on whatever you're making, because you've spent so much time making it. Put your name on it. And for 30p, you can't go wrong with that. So now I've got a stock update on our thread box. Wow, less than 20 left of these. These seem to sell out really, really quickly on them because they're such a great product, and you're paying less than £1 a spool, and you're getting the thread box, the storage box for free on there. So if you are interested in that, we've got less than 20 of that at the moment. How are we doing on our early bird? We've only got 30% left of our early bird, so if you are interested in the early bird as well, I'll just recap that very, very quickly for you. You're getting a ½ metre of the Henry glass, ½ metre of cream, ½ metre of the lavender, and that's £10.97. So you're saving £3, which is almost the price of one of those ½ metre coordinates. Really great price on that, so please don't hang around. The early bird is for one day only or until stocks last, so make sure you grab that when you can. So now we're going to do the llamas. Oh, not the llamas. I know what you mean. We're going to do this jungle fabric, and I want a shirt out of this. I really, really love it. Are these pre-cut, or can you buy by the ½ metre? So this is by the meterage. So if you were looking to make a shirt, you'd be looking to buy, let's say it's 3 meters that you need for the shirt. You're going to need to buy 6 units, and that'll come cut as one single piece of 3 meters. And again, remember, this is 55 inches wide. Look at that. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous colourway for a shirt, that. And for £4.99, that is such a great price, that. One of my friends, she had this as her wallpaper, and I thought that was the most glamorous wallpaper ever. I thought it was so beautiful in the room, and she detested it from the minute that she walked in. So I'm actually tempted to make these into cushions as a little throwback to her wallpaper. It's just the most fabulous colourway, that. Really, really lovely. So that's 55 inches wide, and for a ½ metre, you're paying £4.99. Can't go wrong with that. And I folded this completely wrong. They all change. Oh, well, there we go. We've got a new way of folding that fabric there. And then that's the first one. And then this one, oh my goodness, can we look at that? I just want to show you these before we do it on the screen. That is just beautiful. Oh, the bird, look at this bird. Just look at the detailing on it. And this bird over here, look at that. This is absolutely stunning, this whole jungle theme here. That is just beautiful. And the detailing on this, I don't know what bird that is. Is it a crane or something? But just look at the colourway all the way down its back. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you can see these gorgeous parakeets here as well. And then you've got the little monkey, and you've got little, is that a tiger? I think that's a tiger there. Really, really stunning, stunning fabric. Again, another gorgeous shirt. But look at this one. You've got like a little eagle. But it's obviously not the colouring of an eagle going all the way through. This is just the most gorgeous fabric. Really, really, really lovely. I don't know if it's a cheetah or whether it's a tiger. I kind of wonder if it's... Oh, it's not a tiger. It's not a tiger because it's not got stripes on it. It must be a cheetah or a leopard. It's going to be a leopard because it's in a tree. That'll be it. But just the most gorgeous fabric, that. Look at that. Again, it's 55 inches wide. You can see the width on that. ½ metre there for £4.99. But this, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking this would be, as a wallpaper, would be lovely. Can you put fabric on walls? I'm sure you can. Andrew, darling, we're redecorating the living room. We're totally redecorating the living room now. Look at that. That is just absolutely stunning. Really, really lovely colourways on those. And hopefully they won't sell out before I get off air. Where are we here? So the third, a third, and a third. It's because these are so much wider, I think, that's why the third, third, third. Well, if nothing else, they're folded the same now. So these are really great colour combinations there. You've got the jungle greens on white fabric, ½ metre for £4.99. And then we've got the ferns, also ½ metre for £4.99. Really, really lovely, those. And now we've got little cute baby bunnies. Look at them. So these are not in a bundle. These are by the ½ meter. Really, really cute. And this has got a nice feel to the fabric. Sweet bunny, designed for you by Poppy. Oh, that's lovely. You know I love a good salvage. I love a good salvage, that. So really cute salvage, that. And here is what you're getting. But it's got such a lovely feel to it as well. Again, this is 55 inches wide, ½ meter for $4.99. So all of these 3 fabrics I'm about to show you, we have less than 10 meters of each one. So that when we get to the white is the most limited. But I'm going to show you these all in order that they're coming out. And I'm folding these in quarters now, and it's working. So now I've figured out what I did wrong with the other one there. So that is this called mint green? Duck egg. So this is called duck egg, ½ meter for $4.99. And again, that was a wider fabric than normal. So it's 55 inches there. But children's clothes or bags even, that would be lovely. Little kids' backpacks would be great. And look at that, huge. This is in ochre, bunnies on ochre. And just look again, really cute fabric. Really, really sweet. $4.99 for the ½ meter. It's 55 inches wide, so you're getting a little bit more than you normally would get on a 44-inch salvage to salvage repeat. And it's got a really great feel, the fabric, as well, which is great. It's got a lovely softness to it. Right, so it's how I do it in the shop. Quarter, quarter, third, third. And again, this is a very on-trend colour, but also, you know, I like buying, look at them together. They work so well together, perhaps not with my beautiful shirt behind it, but if I do that, you can see it looks really good together. I do worry that these bright shirts don't show the fabrics off in the best light. So this is the one where we're quite limited on, the white. Gosh, we've got less than 5 meters on this one as well. And also a lot of people ask me about backings for quilts for their children that they're making. This is perfect. 55 inches wide, ½ meter for $4.99. There's less than, how much did you say, 5 meters? Less than 5 meters of this left. So if you are interested in it, certainly quilt backings, this is a perfect, perfect product for that. Because most quilts for the kids are not normally bigger than 55 inches anyway. Really great product, that. I'm very excited to see this next collection here because I love this collection. Just look at these. Oh, oh, I haven't seen that one. Oh, I haven't seen that one either. That's right. Start at the top. Focus. You are here to show people the fabric, not to look yourself. This I absolutely adore. This is called Assorted Flowers on Aqua, ½ meter, 55 inches, and this is $4.99. It's got that beautiful brushed canvas stroke fabric look to it. It's just gorgeous. Really, really lovely. And I'll show you here. It's quite, it's a bit Laura Ashley, but in a really modern way. Isn't it terrible that some companies have a, I just love this. I think it's really lovely. But look at the, you can see what I mean by that brushed effect here, because it's not a solid teal in the background, or aqua that they've called it. You can see there's a little bit of movement in the colour as well. It's not a solid. You can see here how the brush strokes work really, really well. But again, look at the colouring that they've put in the flowers. It's really, really beautiful. Very, very well done. So this is Assorted Flowers and Leaves on Aqua. Oh, are we limited on this? How much have we got? Oh, wow, we've got less than 5 meters of both of these. So if you do want to buy 2 meters, you'll be putting 4 units in your basket. But there is only less than 5 meters left of this one as well. And you can see why. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's the Assorted Flowers and Leaves on Aqua. And here we've got the Assorted Flowers and Leaf on Pink. I thought it was on rose, but it's not, it's on pink. But I think on this one, you can actually see in the background what I was talking about with that brush stroke effect in the background, because it's a very subtle, it's almost like a mottled change in colour, but it is just so beautifully done, very tastefully. ½ meter of this, 55 inches wide. It's $4.99 for a half meter. We've got less than 5 meters left of this one as well. So please, if you are interested, until you've checked it out and paid for it, unfortunately it's not yours. So if it's in your basket, you may very well lose out on it. We don't want you losing out. You regret the fabric you leave behind. So there we go, less than 5 meters of that, $4.99. Ooh, I've not seen this one before. That's very pretty. I can't even pronounce that. QJU tie. What are we calling that? Cutie. I'm going to call it cutie. Even if it's wrong, I'm going to call it cutie. This is assorted flowers on Pinstripe cream fabric. Half a meter, $4.99. And you can see what I mean. That's actually a really good wallpaper as well, isn't it? Really, really lovely, that. But imagine that as a nice shirt or a lovely blouse or just sort of a summer dress. I think that's beautiful. The colours just work so beautifully together as well. Really lovely. I'm just thinking as well, it would be nice as a nice little summer scarf. For $4.99, 55 inches by half meter. That is just lovely. So that was on cream. Right, third. Oh, no, I've done this as well. Oh, we won't get these back in again. So again, this is what we have, is it. We're not going to be able to get them back in again. So if you are interested, please don't hang around. We can't get this again. So how much have we got less than 5 on that one? Less than 5 meters on that as well. So please, if you are interested, can't get it again. There we go. So now we've got assorted flowers and pinstripe on grey. So you can tell you can really see the pinstripe on that one. 55 inches as well, half meter for $4.99. Imagine that as a nice little colour block dress. Oh, that lovely colour block dress we did at the very beginning when I started. That would work beautifully with this. And there's so many beautiful bold colours in there that you could match with it as well. Really, really lovely. See, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that would be a gorgeous lining for a bag or a lining for a jacket. That is just such a beautiful colour. Because the uniformity of the pinstripe would work really, really well for any form of tailoring. And I think nowadays people are paying a lot of attention to linings on jackets and waistcoats and things. That would be a really nice addition. Normally when I flick it like that, I'm able to get rid of that little fold, but it didn't work that time. Again, we've got less than 5 meters of this, and unfortunately we won't be able to get that in again when it's gone. So what we have on the show, that's it. If you're wanting 2 meters of it, you'll need to buy 4 units because all of our units are sold by the half meter, and that'll come together as a single piece of 2 meters. When you buy a kit, it's a different kettle of fish because we've cut them all, so they're coming to you as individually cut pieces, no matter how many you buy. This one is pink tulips on grey, half meter by 55 inches, $4.99 again, and unfortunately I picked this up upside down, so you've got all your flowers upside down. So if you give me 3 seconds, I'll flip that round the right way round and you can look at it correctly. Sorry about that. There you go, that's what they're supposed to look like. Again, half meter, 55 inches wide, and that is $4.99. Really lovely, that. Have we got less than 5 on this one as well? Oh, we've got less than 10 on this one, so this one we've got a bit more stock on that one. Oh, while we're live, our white bunnies. It was lovely to see you. They're gone. Bye-bye. So if you've got anything in your basket that you haven't checked out, please make sure you check out because we don't want you to miss out on anything you really, really want. And a lot of this we're not able to get back in again. So this is now called Red Flowers on Cream, 55 inches by half meter. And that is again $4.99. Just beautiful. But these do look like cherry blossoms, I think. But imagine this as a dress or a skirt. Absolutely beautiful, this. And again, it's a lovely shirt. I'm seeing a lot of shirt fabric coming out here for me. That is lovely. Really nice. Half meter for that, $4.99. How much have we got left of that? Bear with, caller. Bear with. 6 meters of that one. So if you are looking to make a shirt or anything, you'd need to buy 3 meters of your fabric for your shirt. You'd need to buy 6 units, and that will come to you as a single piece. $4.99 for a half meter of that. We're doing which? We got the daisies. Look at these. Are these by the half meter as well? Perfect. So we've got the navy and the pink daisies here. I'm going to start with the navy. Oh, the navy is incredibly limited. How much have we got? We have less than 3 meters of this one left. So if you like the navy daisies, which I wouldn't be surprised that you do, look how cute that is. This is a 1/2 meter by 55 inches at $4.99. Less than, oh, we've got 3 meters left of it now. Been very, very popular, and you can see why. It's really pretty. Anything that you want to, this is a backing for a quilt would be stunning, really lovely. Because I think most people as well forget about their backings on quilts, but that's just a lovely colourway, that. But any form of homewares as well and bag making, it's a really lovely choice, that one. 1/2 meter by 55 inches, $4.99. And now we have daisies on pink. Again, I actually don't know whether I prefer the pink. Oh, they're very cute, these. I think I might prefer the pink. They look like grey leaves on this. They really are sweet. Let's have a look. So this one again, you can see it's like a very dark grey, almost black, but it's not grey. The colour on the overhead is slightly different than what you'll see on the cameras ahead. We've just got a slight difference on the camera there. It's just unfortunately what it is. But the colour that you've got showing to you now, that's what the colour is. And we were just looking at the leaves there, and they are a very dark grey. They're lovely. But again, we've got did you say 7 meters of this? We've got 7 meters left of this one. $4.99 for a 1/2 meter, and again that's 55 inches wide, and we can't get it back again. Can't get it back again, unfortunately. That's the problem with these fabrics. Now we have the fabulous Lewis and Irene tulip fabrics. This is now incredibly limited on this one again. Is this a bundle? This is a bundle. This is a bundle of 4. 1/2 meter of each of these. $26.90. Was it $26.99? $26.99. These are called tulip fields. And how many did you say we had? We've got less than 10 of these bundles left. So that's now on your screen there for you. So you're getting a 1/2 meter of each of these 4 fabrics, and I'll show you each one. But for me, these little mice give me so much joy every time I see them. Because look at these little cute baby little mice. They're all like sleeping in the little flowers. They are just adorable. Lewis and Irene is a UK-based company, a design company. They are they've got such integrity to their designs, family-run business, and you can just tell everything that they do is just so beautiful. Just so soft and gentle. And just look at those little baby sleepy mices. Oh, I love them. Sorry, I get very excited when I see cute things like that. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. And I'm not surprised that this has sold so well. It's a lovely collection. This is the Tulip Fields collection. That's our first fabric in our bundle of 4 here. This is our second. Proper tulip fields. These are 44 inches, 112, is it 112 centimeters? 112 centimeters for each of them, and they're 1/2 meter wide. But just look at that, it's almost a rainbow in there as well. It's absolutely stunning. Really lovely that. That's our little proper tulip fields on that. And you can just imagine all the little mice living in each one of those little flowers, having a little bit of a baby nap in there. And then this one is just a gorgeous colourway, an absolutely stunning fabric. And great thing is it's non-directional, so I can have this any way I like, and it's correct. 1/2 meter of this, again, 44 inches wide, 112 centimeters by 50, and you're getting 4 of those sizes in this bundle. And the detailing on these flowers is so beautiful. It's just that great design by Lewis and Irene. And then the last one we've got to show you now. And we've got this one as well. And here you've just got this little marriage of little baby mice, and oh, they're just so adorable. And they're going to go and live in their little baby windmill house and everything. Absolutely gorgeous. And I can't believe our hour is up. I've got so many more fabrics to show you, but I'm just run out of time. So the great thing about our website is if you pop onto our website, www.sewingstreet.com, you'll be able to see a little YouTube page usually of moi, hello. Just beneath that, you'll be able to see all the products that were on the show for this hour. So have a little look there. There are a couple of fabrics I didn't get to for this hour. So have a check on there, and everything that we have had on the show will be there as well. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to be able to bring you 2 brand new Creative Grid rulers. So I'm really excited about that. We'll be back with you in a minute or 2.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw, and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @SewingStreet. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3 and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to Sewing Street. If you're just joining us this morning, welcome and thank you very much for being with us. I am very excited to be able to share with you our lovely early bird. How many? Oh my goodness, we have less than 15 of these left. We have sold loads of them this morning. So I'm going to just recap our early bird because it is such a great deal. And it's just for us, it's with us today for less than 24 hours or until it sells out. You're going to be getting a ½ meter of this fabulous Henry Glass fabric. Really, really cute. Oh, let me move that forward. Look at that. These beautiful little bird houses there. Bird song fabric bundle, we're calling this. So you're getting a ½ meter of this Henry Glass, and then you're getting a ½ meter of cream. We've sold so many of them this morning already, so we are expecting it to sell out while we are live on air. So if you are interested in getting this, don't hang around. Remember, if it's in your basket, it's not yours until you've checked out. This is a ½ meter of the cream, and what's so great about this is, look how perfectly that goes together. It just makes your Henry Glass pop or even more on that with that background colorway there. Absolutely lovely there. So going forward, what we've done is our early birds are only available for 24 hours. Is the early bird back up on the website now? Right, so unfortunately, we're having a little bit of a technical issue on our website at the moment. So if you are interested in our early bird, you're going to need to search it on the website or call the call centre and ask them for the early bird. And if you want to search on the website, the code you're looking for is U for uniform, E for echo, X for X-ray, C for Charlie, 23. That is sorry, there was something on the floor that crackled, didn't know what that was. And that's UEXC23. If you search that on the website, that'll come up for you there. But this is the lavender ½ meter that goes with the color combinations there. And I will put those there so you can see just how perfectly those go together. If I lower it down, you can see the cream as well. If I turn it, would actually make more sense. And you can just see how well that all goes together. Our lovely team have created this fabulous colorway in order to make this pop, and it really does. And it also makes your Henry Glass go that little bit further. You're going to be saving £3 today on this bundle, which is almost the price of a ½ meter of our coordinates. So do look for that on the website, and you're going to need to check that out by that code. So we've also now got this amazing, amazing cutting mat. We have sold so many of these, and we didn't know when we were going to be able to get stock of them. They arrived this morning. So our lovely cutting mats are back in. This is the Millwood cutting mat. It's the largest one that we offer. It's 34 inches by 22. The great thing as well is that it's left and right-handed, so you'll be able to see over here. Oh, maybe I can slide that down there. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. We've got our 0 there in a circle and 34 above and 1, 2, 3. So you've got your left-handed and your right-handed. The ones in the bubbles would be the left-handed and right-handed, and you've got that in the middle as well, repeated. You've got all the angles that you need, 30 degrees, 45 degrees and 60 degrees. A really, really fantastic mat, this. £37.99, and we've sold out of it. Is it 2 or 3 times now? Absolutely, really, really, really wonderful mat. And remember then, for your P&P, you only pay £3.95, whatever you order, whether it be one of the lovely sewing machines that we've got, the big cutting mat, rulers, anything that you purchase throughout the day, or if you buy a combination of those, you'll only pay the one P&P all day on that. Excuse me. Now, the first thing I want to show you today, I saw this online the other day, and I have brought, these are my rulers from my studio. So these are not on the page, but what I wanted to show you was I saw a very, very clever video. So I bought these rulers maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and I have used them every single day. Every day I have used these rulers, and I've just thought, you know what, I bought the rulers, I never have to worry about them, I will have them forever. But I watched this video the other day, and I was horrified because all of my rulers are broken and I need to replace them, and I'm going to show you why. And this is not a sales technique, this is a genuine thing that happens to every one of your rulers. So what I want you to do is, when you get home or whether you're there, grab your ruler and first of all run your finger over the top of it. Now my ruler here, you can see it has a crack in it there. If I can, you can see, it's got a crack there. And when I run my finger over it, there's a nick in it there. So this has been a very well loved and a very well used ruler. But the scary thing of all is you take a little piece of card, and if you put this along here, let me take a brand new ruler that has no issues, okay? So if I take this card, it's not going through at all, okay? So that's a sign that your ruler is in good health, good condition, no problem at all, it doesn't go through. Now we're going to take a slightly more worn ruler, and I want to show you what happens here. Look at this. It's going through the ruler. So that means that in these areas, my ruler has worn away. So when I'm cutting, the ruler is no longer cutting in a straight line. There is a dip. Look there. And that's a huge portion. That's about 5 inches that it's going through. And you can see again, there's another dip. And what that means is when you're using your rulers like that, when you're cutting what you think is a straight line, when you're wanting to have absolute precision, when you're, you can actually see it on the overhead here, you can actually see the dip over here that's come in. You can actually tell, because I've lined this up perfectly there, and I've lined it up perfectly at the top, and you can actually tell that the dip over here is actually visible to the eye. You can actually see there, that's where it's coming in. So what's very interesting is these wonderful rulers that I've trusted and used for years, I've now, look at that one. This one is now, that's a 10-inch dip. This is the one that I use on my studio table all the time, but it's got a 10-inch gap there that this can fit in. And if I get here, so I was devastated when I read this, when I saw that, because first of all, you see all these YouTube videos and you think, yeah. And then you think, actually, you're bored at your cutting table one day, chatting on the phone to someone, and then you think, oh, I'm going to try. And then you shove your ruler and you're like, oh my gosh, my ruler's broken. I loved my ruler. So look, it's entirely up to you. I know these gorgeous rulers, I've loved them. They are no longer going to be used, because what it is so interesting is that when you feel the edges, you can actually, just putting these two together, I can actually feel there's a giant dip on the front one there. These rulers are not meant to last forever. They are made of plastic. Every time that you cut them, every time you put a blade on there, it is shaving off the finest portion on it. And I don't know about you, but I use my ruler a lot. And the fact that mine has lasted so long, I was really, really impressed. But equally sad, because now I've got to buy 2 new rulers. But it's just important to make sure that you check those out to be able to check whether your ruler is in good health. And the reason being is that if it's not in good health, it means that you're going to be cutting ever so slightly out. And every point that I've ever missed is now no longer my fault. It's because of my dodgy ruler. So I hope you're going to take that with me as well. And just to going to recap then, we've got this fabulous 2.5 by 24.5 inch ruler, 2 of which have gone into my basket today to be purchased, because obviously I do need new ones. These are available on our website or on our call centre. And the great thing is with these, as I'll show you without our lovely thing here, is you've got the wonderful lines, what did you call them? So I'm trying to find there we go. So these, we have now found they are called non-slip grip dots. Go on, say that 3 times quickly. And what's great about them is, and I can show you with my original ruler, when I do that, you can see it moves. And this is not dissing OmniGrid in any way whatsoever. That's just what you can tell. And on this side, you've got no feel on it. But when you rotate this round and you've got the non-slip grip dots, you can tell that it doesn't move anywhere near as much as the other ones did. And you can tell I'm shaking my table there quite a lot. So this is a really, really lovely ruler. Really great. And again, that test, just take any piece of thin card, put it underneath and see if it works. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that oh, yes. I'm looking. And if you have got a horror story with your little code through, your board through, send us a photo, please, so that I know I'm not the only one who's got terrible seams because of an awful ruler incident. So there we go. Really great ruler this. And please do check your rulers out, because we've had them. I've had mine for years and it goes everywhere with me. You can tell I've dropped it on the floor. That was actually on my foot when it cracked open like that. So yes, make sure you check them out. And the thing is as well, that's lasted me Now, I think I cut more than the average person does, and that is in my studio for a fabric shop as well, so I've been using the same ruler, so it's going to last you a lot longer if you're using it less, and it's such great value for $23.99. Even if you get 4 years out of it, that's only 50p a month. You're going to make it, you've got a great investment on that as well. So talking about great investments, I am going to bring you today our fabulous new Creative Grids ruler. You're going to need a rotating cutting mat for this, not just for that, I love doing that, but also you're going to need it because you'll make your life a lot easier using one of these rotating cutting mats. This one's made by Trimits. It comes in 2 parts like that, and then you put them together and you've got this lovely little black circle in the middle that you put it on, and then you can rotate that as you go. This one is 12 inches by 12 inches, and it's $32.99. So that's a really good product to have when you're using this ruler as well. So this is brand new to Sewing Street today. This is the 45-degree Kaleidoscope Triangle Ruler. Non-slip as well, with all that wonderful technology by Creative Grids. You can see we've got these non-slip grip dots as well as you've got the non-slip grip edging there on your triangles. And it's also got these fabulous set of instructions as well on how you make these different blocks and how you do them. And I think we heard a wonderful tip by somebody the other day. If you got these, laminate them. Put them in a file and laminate them, or put them up on your wall, and that way then you'll never lose them. Because if you're like me, you're going to put them somewhere safe and never find them again. So let me start by showing you what I have made from these. So this is what these gorgeous rulers do. You're going to get these fabulous sets of kaleidoscopes. So what I've done, now I think it's really important. Now I know I have to do samples for the show. I know I have to cut a few and make a few, and I know that's just part of the job, and I'm very happy to do that because I love it. I get to play with new things. But what I love even more is when I cut them and sew them and do them, if I just keep sewing, and I haven't noticed that it's been 3 hours, then I know it's a good ruler. And the reason I'm saying that is they are, and I'm going to line them up here, because these are all the bundles that we've got, and I'll go through the bundles in a little while. But the great thing is you can tell that they just are absolutely addicted. I'm just going to put these onto the top here. I just couldn't stop. I could not stop. So I've made 8 of these. I was asked to make 2. Well, no, I haven't. I made 10. So I'm going to just move that little bundle out the way there. And there we go. So I'm going to show you now how we made these. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to confess. I cut them wrong the first time round. So I had a little bit of an issue. So I want to show you what I did wrong, because I want you to have the troubleshooting that when you make a mistake, first of all, know what I've done. When you have this issue, you're going to know how to fix it, because that was a little bit disheartening when I made them and I was like, oh no! So on this block, you will be able to see very, very clearly, and I don't know, there we go. You can see my points in the middle are so far from each other, they're not even in the same conversation. So I'm going to tell you what happened there and show you how that happened, because I finally figured that out this morning. So when you're doing these, you're going to cut these out, and I'll show you those in a few minutes. I just want to lay this out correctly. And I'm hoping for those savvy sewers out there, you're going to figure out what I did wrong just by my laying these out. So there we go. I've got those all ready to go. Where's my little pointy sticky bit? So, do we notice that let me put my finger over there, that is a lot wider than that. Like a lot wider. So you can now tell why my points didn't match. And the reason I'm telling you this is because everybody always asks me about a quarter inch seam. That was my 1/4 inch seam. I used a new sewing machine, and my 1/4 inch seam was bigger than a traditional 1/4 inch seam, which is what caused the problem. So with this ruler, what you're going to do is anything that you make, or any way that you do this, your fabric needs to measure 4.5 inches from that end to this end. It needs to measure 4.5 inches. Now, on here, my 1/4 inch is not consistent, as well as the fact I haven't ironed that very well. So you can see I've got a whole lip there. Now, we're all going to do this, and we all do it. So I'm just going to show you how you rectify that and fix it. And if I'd been clever, I'd have turned the iron on in the break, but of course I didn't. And when you've pressed that and you've got that right, you should be measuring 4.5 inches on the height of your fabric. And that's whether you're sewing 2 together like that, or you're sewing 3 together like that, or if you're sewing 4 together like that. It doesn't matter how many fabrics you're sewing together, the height, this height here, needs to measure 4.5. And the reason that this block didn't meet is, look there. Even on that, it's 1/4 inch smaller. So that is really, really important on this. So whatever the width of your fabric is here, it has to be 4.5 inches. So the good thing is test this first. Test this first. But if you don't want to test it and you want to cut the fabric however you do it, I'm going to show you how you fix it. So first of all, I'm just pressing that and making sure I've got that as wide as it'll go and getting it as flat as it'll go, but making sure it's as neatly pressed as you can get it. So you can tell how well my sewing went, my pressing was here. So I pressed from the back first, then make sure you turn your fabric over and press from the front as well. Because this is an absolutely amazing ruler that I absolutely love. I just think that it was my own silliness that I just got a bit carried away and didn't check everything beforehand. And I would rather give you the tips on how to fix them before you have the problem and think, oh, well, that's a silly ruler, it doesn't work. It really does. It really does. So just by pressing that, you can see I've automatically created a much more straight area there and a much more straight area here. So I'm going to take my kaleidoscope ruler marker here, and what we're looking to do is 2 things. What we're looking to do is we're lining up that point there at the top of our fabric. We're lining this line up here, not the dotted line. So let me move that forward so you can see. So this dark line here, we're lining up with the bottom of our fabric. And if we get it right, this seam line here will match along the way. So you're lining 3 different sections up. So you can see I've just lined that one up. I've lined that one up. Right. But the great thing is they do think of everything to do this. Now, the reason this 1/4 inch foot is so important is, at the moment, every one of us will take our ruler and go like that and cut towards us. This is me pointing my finger at you. Don't do that. It's dangerous. You will hurt yourself. So rotate your cutting mat whilst everything's in place and put your hand on it like that, and you trim off these edges to make sure you've got that nice clean line. Okay? You've got that first clean line there. Okay? Then I'm holding the ruler like that. I'm cutting my next line over here, and then literally you're just going straight into that hole, and then you just check that you've done it by pulling that out ever so slightly. And then I've got 2 layers here, so I know I need to get 4 in order to make this work. But when you're cutting towards your fingers, please, please be careful. Right, so I've now cut 4 lots of 2 there. So not only have I cut that there, I'm going to double check them, because when I put these, I'm leaving these together so they're completely lined up. I'm then going to put this on top here and check if they've worked. And you can see they have. And if I put that on top there, that has. But if I put that one on top there as well, that has as well. So what you're looking to check is not only is the width there the same, but you're also checking that the height here is the same. And that sounds silly, but it's really, really important, because if they're not the same, you're going to end up with bits like that, setting with bits like that, And I promise you, I cut this with the same ruler, and you're going to end up with a point like that. There's nothing wrong with a point like that. There is nothing wrong with it. But I do want you to be able to know, if it goes wrong, why it's gone wrong, because I think it's really important as well. So even if I line that up, equally, you can see there that that hasn't lined up either. So my point at the top is lined up there, but if I rotate that round, you can see it's different. And immediately, as I folded that over, you can see, if I pull that straight, I've automatically figured out why I've got a little bit of a gap, because my pressing wasn't very good in doing that. So there we go. Those are the little things that I found that would make your piece not line up. But now the first thing you're going to do is decide how you're going to make these. So I did various options. First thing I did was I cut 2.5-inch strips. I sewed them together. Jelly rolls, any form of background fabric, any form of coordinates, you can do them. It's a really, really easy project to do with any form of fabric. So you can either do 2.5 pieces there. Then I decided, actually, I'm going to give this a go, and I did 2 1.5-inch pieces to a 2.5-inch piece. So that worked very well as well. And then I did 4 1.5-inch pieces, and that should have measured 4.5. So whatever you're sewing together, just make sure that it ends being 4.5 inches. So this one, you can see I'm actually only at 4.25. So I should have then sewn a little bit wider piece on this end, or sewn another piece on there and then trimmed it down. But this ruler works best when everything is 4.5 inches that way. If it's not 4.5 inches and you do end up having a bit of a difference, I've shown you then how you trim those together. Make sure that the sides are all the same height and the same width. Trim that down, and that's how you'll fix it. But these are literally just strips of fabric, either 1.5 or 2.5 inches, sewn together. I've sewn this one that way, just to avoid any curves. And then as you saw what I did previously, I line those up. So if you've got a flat end piece, you would just put that there. You'd attach your ruler to the top of it, line that up over there with your line there, and start cutting them off. So you'd cut that off, and that would be the only bit of waste that you have, and then you would cut out the triangles as you go. You need 8 of these to make the triangle, and once you've cut them all out, like I have here, you're going to alternate your colorway, and my suggestion is make sure you lay these out as you're meant to sew them, because one of the other things I did was, if you sew one that end, and then that one that end, you're going to end up with a rogue piece, and it's not going to work. But the great thing with this ruler is everything perfectly lines up. So now you can tell that the point at the front lines up perfectly, this seam here lines up perfectly, and that seam there lines up perfectly. So when we're sewing these together, if I can find my foot, there we go. Now, with these, what I'm always saying to you is, when I said you're sewing them the same way, put these on top of each other and then keep them the same way as they go through the machine. So you've got 4 bundles. If I pick this one up, I'm going to sew on that side, and then I know that each time I do it, it's going to go the same way in the machine. Now, what I found easiest was having the larger piece go through first, over here, this piece going through first. So you'll notice that when I do these, I'm doing them 2 at a time, two of the little triangles at a time. Okay. And this fabulous Experience 560 has a thread cutter, so I've been a little bit naughty and just pressed the thread cutter now to make sure it does it. And I line those up as well. And the great thing with this is, if chain piecing scares you, you don't need to worry, because this really is the easiest way of working through these fabrics. It really is. And with this, just make sure that you've got everything coming off the machine, going onto and off the machine in exactly the same way, so you don't end up with a seam in the wrong place. And this is where your 1/4 inch seam, it doesn't matter if it's exactly a 1/4 inch. What matters is you've got to be consistent with it the whole way through. You are dealing with bias here, so handle your fabric as little as you possibly can, because you don't want to be distorting your shapes and making sure that everything just stays as flat as you can possibly keep it. And there we go. This is our last one going in. And now, because I've been very savvy and clip my threads as I go, you then just lay these out before I press anything. I always lay everything out to check I've done it the right way round. There we go. Now, when you press these, one of the things I think is much easier when you press these is if at this stage you press your seams open. Main reason being is that when you get to the middle, when you sew them all together, you're going to end up with a little bit of a lump. That's just normal. But the less fabric you have in that lump, the better, because it just makes your life a lot easier. Now you can see I have not wiggled my iron around. I have literally just put it on there, and that's it. Oh, that's got best press on it. Love it. If you want to use best press as well, this would work very, very well with best press. Again, I'm just gently pressing those seams open, making sure I've got my iron, and voila. And by pressing them open, you can tell whether your seams have matched perfectly or not. Because the great thing with this ruler is that it's just so clever the way that it comes out. Because I don't actually know if it's possible to actually stitch these all together the same way. And my favorite one that I made is this one, where what I did was I put a 2.5 inch strip, a 2.5 inch strip, and then I put a 1.5 inch strip in the middle, and then I cut it down all the way along to be able to then create that in the middle, which I thought was very clever. The great thing with this ruler is you can play with it and come up with so many different designs. And because it's jelly roll friendly as well, I think that's just one of the best features about it, because you can use any one of your jelly rolls, put a light with a dark, and you're going to have an absolutely amazing layout on that. And we're using this fabulous June Taylor blocking pressing mat again, which is lovely. So there we go. We've got that all lined up, ready to go. So now what we've done is we've sewn 2 together, 2 together. We're now going to sew 2 together, 2 together to create halves. And again, when you're doing this, it's very easy to line everything up. Just make sure you're on the bias again, so you're not pushing or pulling or stretching. That top bit there lines up perfectly. You can, because I've pressed my seams, when I did the pressing here, I pressed it to one side. You've then got this nesting ability in that seam there, but then equally you know that that's going to match there. I'm going to sew again from the outside in, just because I think it's easier for you to use your fabric, having more fabric under your foot. It doesn't get eaten by the machine. And this fabulous 560 has the ability to keep your needle down, and it's got the thread cutter as well. So a fabulous machine. If you haven't looked it up, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. Great thing with our YouTube channel is anything that we've ever done on the show is available for you to watch as an old show. Right. So again, at this point, I'm going to press my seams open just to make sure we've got as flat an area as possible. And the great thing with this little ironing board is it's just so nice if you're not in a set area where you can have both set up. You can have everything then just movable. I'm sure many of you have seen me use this before, because it is my favorite ironing board. Portable ironing board here. This is the June Taylor Cushioned Quilters Square and Blocker ironing board. And we've got our fabulous little prim iron as well, which I love. Out of stock at the minute, but we will be getting it back in. Love this little iron. But this ironing board works really well as well, so that's really good. So now, when we do this, we are now going to use our pins. I know, I never use them if I can find them. Oh, there we go. I'm so glad we've got our fabulous ones here. What are these called? Magic pins. These are fabulous. I love these. So, again, what I'm doing here is you can tell that where my seams have met there, I'm going to put my pin in the middle of that, okay? Right, so you can tell I'm just that side of where my seams have met. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing over here, and I'm going to line that up there. Perfect. So the great thing is now once I've got my pin in place, I then rotate my fabric in line, and you can tell these seams are perfectly lined up. Those seams are perfectly lined up. Those seams are perfectly lined up. So at this point here, I now hold this fabric as tightly as my little fingers will be allowed me to hold, and I use my not middle finger, I use these two fingers to hold the fabric nice and taut, because if I just use this and move the ruler, if I move the pin, you can see the fabric moves. But what I'm doing is I'm securing the fabric in place because I know that everything lines up perfectly. So I'm using my little finger and the one next to it to hold the bottom seam. I'm using my middle finger and my thumb to hold that fabric nice and taut. And there we go. And I'm only going to pin the middle one because you know pins are not my thing. So now I am going to then do a 1/4 inch seam all the way down here. I feel like I should do a little rain dance. So when you come to this point here, you are aiming to hit exactly where the pin has gone through the fabric, okay? I take my pin out before I get to that point because I don't like sewing over pins. Even though those are beautiful thin pins that you probably could sew over them, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Sorry, I honestly won't deny I was a little worried that that wouldn't meet, but I'm very happy with the result there, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very happy with that. And it does show that it just takes that little bit of extra pressing, making sure that everything is pressed nicely. And again, what I'm doing here is because you've got so many layers of fabric meeting in the middle there. Now I'm trying to make sure I keep everything open. And I know a lot of you don't like pressing your seams open, but I'm going to show you here. This block is now completely flat compared to some of the blocks that would be pressed open there. But look at that, and I'm so pleased that these have met in the middle. And you get into a nice little routine doing that, and here's what I prepared right now before your eyes. Can't go wrong with that. So you can see that that is exactly what you're looking for. Perfect matching there, but you can see the different gradations of colors. Now, in order to finish this block off, what you're going to do is it tells you on the cutting plan as well, you're going to cut 3 1/4 inch squares, then you're going to cut those into triangles, and then you're going to sew those on to 4 sides. So you can either sew them onto those 4 sides or those 4 sides, because that will then give you a block like that with a better center. So it's just a really nice way of doing it. So with this, we've used a fabulous set of color coordinations. So if anybody didn't get what I'd said, don't forget the ruler is fabulous in the way that you've got the actual ruler, but you've also got the set of instructions. And this QR code over here, you just need to scan the QR code, and the QR code will go to a tutorial video on YouTube from Creative Grids, and you'll be able to then watch, or if you've got any problems or questions, you'll be able to see it. So that QR code there will be able to get you the video, which I think is by Rachel Cross as well. So you can see that that's one of the little blocks that I've made. That's that block there. So this is the 45-degree Kaleidoscope Double-Strip Ruler. Is one of the range of double-strip rulers that are designed to make cutting half-square triangles, quarter-square triangles, 60-degree triangles, and 45-degree kaleidoscope triangles from pairs of 2.5-inch strips sewn together to form a 4.5-inch strip set. So that's what you're looking for. So whether you're using 2 pairs of 2.5-inch strips, or whether you're using 4 or 5 different pieces to make something like that, you've just got to make it measure 4.5 inches all the way through to be able to make it work. And then it shows you on the inside how you're actually going to do that together and how to actually use the ruler. I do recommend that this rotating cutting mat is something that you keep with you for this ruler, simply because that way for safety you're always cutting away from you rather than potentially cutting towards you. So the ruler does, because you do end up having to cut in different directions, having the rotating cutting mat is really handy, because as you saw, when you've got your fabrics on that, you just rotate the mat around, nothing has to move, and you can safely cut away from you, and then go this way and you can safely cut that way away from you as well. It's just a nice little safety mechanism on that. So that is the ruler, and you've got the fabulous Creative Grid non-slip dots. Creative Grid, what do we call them? Non-slip dots. Non-slip grip dots. So that's these over here, which you can see in the screen, and they've got this sort of sandpapery feel to it. And they are definitely game-changing because it keeps the ruler in place as well. When I said to you about the 3.25 inch line that you're cutting for your squares, that's where you line the fabric up to cut it out. And that is the fabulous ruler. Really, really great product that. And again, don't forget to keep these somewhere safe, because they do make things really, really interesting. And the great thing is with this is the more you make, you can do. Can you imagine these? And once you don't have to use the plain fabric. If you just have got a jelly roll that you absolutely love, imagine just being able to have little strips of these to make placemats or cushions or bags or even kids' clothing. Can you imagine a whole load of these as a pattern for a dress for a little girl? They'd be really, really cute. These come in at, I think they're 8 inches, are they? Hang on, I'm just measuring. Yes, so they come in at just over 8 1/4. Sorry, 8.5. So they'd come down to 8 inches when they're finished as well. So I've taken all the different fabrics that I've made all these wonderful blocks out of. They have been selected by me because I love these fabrics, and I think it's really good to be able to do something so effective with what people consider to be quite a simple range. So I'm going to pop those over there. Keep my June Taylor down here. So we've got 5 different colorways that I've chosen for this today. The first one is this, are we calling this the blue collection? The navy spot collection. So this is the navy spot. So we've got the navy here, we've got a light blue here, and we've got this, I think this is marine. This is 1.5 meters, and that is $9.99. So you're getting 1/2 meter of each one of these. And they're great as well, even if you weren't using for this project, they're really great stash builders. Really great stash builders. So this is the navy dot. These are 3mm dots on here. Everything that you've seen today is pre-cut. So if you did buy 2 of these bundles, they would come as 2 1/2-meter pieces. Unfortunately, they don't come as, because they're already cut already. So that was the navy dot. That's the navy dot. And then we've got this, is this powder blue? I can never remember the name of these. This is called Sky. And this sky is just such a lovely colour as well. Even as a stash builder, this is such a great colour. Really lovely that. That's the sky colour there. And then we've got the last one here. Is this marine? This is royal, so you can see that. Oh gosh, I keep getting threads on everything. That's the royal colour there. So it's a lovely little colourway there. That's our first one there. That's for $9.99. We have got the fabulous Scrap Crazy 8-inch ruler with us next. I'm just going to show you the rest of these bundles. So you're saving 98p buying these bundles the way they are. A ½ metre of each. What have we called this one? This is called Aqua Spots. So you're getting 3 different colourways there. You've got the peacock, powder blue, and then the aqua dots there. ½ metre of each there. $9.99, saving almost £1 on each of those for a bundle. This is the tan colourway here. So we've got the brunette at the bottom, we've got beige, and then we've got tan spots at the top there. Again, $9.99 for ½ metre of each. So it's a really lovely bundle. These two, I won't deny, now we all know blue is my favourite. These two are my favourite together, because if I put these two together, I'm just going to show you, because I like, you know me, I like doing a lot, but look how beautiful those go together. Really, really lovely. We'll do the light one first. This is called Rose and Silver. So this one, because you've got the extra spots here, this is $10.99 for a ½ metre. And you've got the light grey here, got the spots on silver here, and spots on rose. But again, because we've given you the more the spots, it's £1 more expensive there. It's just a beautiful, beautiful colour palette, that one. And then lastly, we've got this colourway here, which is Cerise. We've got this beautiful, is that school grey? School grey, bright pink, and then cerise on spots at the top there. 3mm spots there, that's a ½ metre of each one. And that is for $9.99. And now I bring you for its debut, I'm just laying all this out here, but the first thing, I got incredibly excited about this bundle because the colours are absolutely just divine. Absolutely love these. And what's great about it is because it's just such a gorgeous colour. This one, unfortunately, the website hasn't been updated, so you're going to need to search the SKU. So the SKU for that is A for Alpha, C for Charlie, X for X-ray, C for Charlie, 1-4. This is 6 meters of fabric. You're getting 1.5 meters of the white and then a ½ meter of every other of the 9 colors there. For a ½ meter, all of those for £40.99. It's just such a great deal on that. And even if you're not using it for this project, it's a really, really lovely project. Now, we have got a few website gremlins this morning. So if you do want this bundle, please don't hang around. Give the call centre a call. It's free from all UK landlines, and I think mobiles as well. 0800 001 4433. The website's just having a little bit of a problem. It's saying that this product isn't available at the moment. But if you ask them for the Star Quilt Fabric Bundle, 6 meters, with the code Alpha Charlie X-ray Charlie 14. ACXC14. They'll be able to help you with that. Otherwise, just keep clicking on our website. It will come right. It's there. Everybody's working really, really hard at the moment to make sure that everything comes through to you. It just takes a little bit longer, and we do have a few issues now and then. Thank you for bearing with us. We'll come back to the bundle in a little while. Let me just show you, first of all, this fabulous Creative Grids ruler. So it's going to come to you in a little baggie like this. Brand new today. You're going to get these 3 fabulous pieces. So this is A and B. I can't really... I need 3 hands. There we go. Oh, wait, I'm going to do it this way. That maybe I can do it like that. Nope, maybe not. So you can see this one is A and B. And what it is the difference is B is that little black line over here. So you can see cutting for template B. And then A is this whole piece. Then you've got C, which is this one, and you're going to cut C that way, as well as you're going to cut C that way and that way. And then this is number D. So you're going to cut 5 pieces out. I've got D backwards there, sorry. So that's the D ruler there. So you've got these 3 rulers that you're going to cut 5 different pieces out. Yes, 5 different pieces because you're repeating one. And you've got, again, these fabulous set of instructions coming from them. There we go. So you can see this is how the block lays out. This is, again, that lovely QR code that you can just scan through and be able to go through to all the videos and how you do it. But if you don't want to use the videos, just open the book, the pamphlet up, and you've got all the details on how to do it there. And that's a suggested layout on how you do it. So what we've done here is we've used that wonderful star bundle collection there for the fabrics. So the first thing I did was I got my pieces of fabric and I cut out 11-inch squares. Now, I'm very cautious when I do demos. I wanted to make sure I had enough fabric. You don't need 11-inch squares. You can use 10-inch squares or 9.5-inch squares and it would work it'll work absolutely fine. It just takes a bit of finagling on getting it done. But just look at how beautifully well these colours go together. All of these colours go so well. And what I love is you've got these lighter tones of the green and the lavender, and then you've got these beautiful bright tones of the pink, and then you've got the blue again, and the pink and the orange. I think I used all of my yellow ones in making the samples, but you've got 9 different colours here as well as the white. And in order to use this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick 3 colours out. 4 colours. I'm going to do 3 and a white. And all I'm doing now is I'm just pulling these out. Actually, I'm going to do 5 because there are 5 different colours in this one. Let's do the orange because the orange is very vibrant. So all I've done now is I've just selected 5. These are 11-inch squares. 10-inch squares is what you're looking for. You don't need to waste the fabric by doing 11 inches because you do end up with a little bit more waste if you cut the square bigger. You don't need it. So all I've done is I'm getting 5 of these and I'm just laying them on top of each other. But before I cut anything or do anything, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're finished. Now, I'm going to be cutting through all 5 because I'm very confident and my rotary cutter blade is brand new and I'm confident. Now, you don't want to cut through 5. You cut through as many as you're comfortable with. Do not overstretch yourself. Just because I've done 5 doesn't mean you need to. You do what's best for you. So what I did was I then went, and again, you remember I tell you that I make a block and I get very excited about it and I get a little bit too carried away? I'm not finished yet. Wait. And then I've got that one. Got that one. And I've got that one. I don't know whether... And I'm literally just laying these out as they come. And it is scrap crazy because you're meant to be doing it as a completely scrappy quilt. You can make it uniform. And I did sort of make it uniform in some ways. And the thing is with this is as long as you've got a 10-inch piece that you haven't found a home for yet, you can do anything with it and you just rotate them round. And any form of layer cake would work with this. You can lay it how you like. There is no right or wrong. I'm going to put that one there. So with this, I have used, if you do cut more than one layer at a time, I have used solid fabrics. Hang on, I'm doing this all wrong. Wait, let me lay these out. There we go, there. I've done something wrong with that one. I thought I'd cut out there. We could pretend that's white because you've got a windmill. Okay, but you can see I just could not stop making these blocks. They were just so addictive. So I've made 16 of these. You know, just that way you can see I'm not messing about. I loved using this ruler. But the great thing is it's just such a... But look at that. Look at how beautiful these colorways are. It just really, really works. But this is and honestly, this did not take that long to do. It really doesn't. And you can do it so, so easily. But if you think that was all I did, you are mistaken. Because not only did I make the 16 blocks, gorgeous colorway that. Not only did I do that, I also cut out enough to make even more. Hang on, let me get this right. So I have just heard the bundle has just become available now. So if you do want the bundle, you can now search that at, what was the code? So it's A for Alpha, C for Charlie, X for X-ray, C for Charlie, 14. And then what you do is you lay your fabrics out like that. And you can see I've cut out a whole load of these to do. And these are just, they're similar to the 6-inch, but I actually prefer the shape that this comes out at. Now, you're going to see that I've sewn a few together already. Now, the reason that these are in a separate bundle is because you will be able to notice that when I sewed these together here, that was laid out like that. But then someone decided that they were going to sew things the wrong way round. So you can see that it's a mirror image. And all I've done is that when I was sewing and when I was picking up, if you pick these up and do it like that, if you put, so let's say, for example, I'm doing this. So I'm going to sew these two together. Be consistent. Otherwise, you're going to end up with blocks that are wrong. So if you pick this up and you put that on top and you flip it over and put it through the machine, make sure that you do that there and don't put that through the machine that way. Sorry, that didn't work. So if you are picking the pieces up like that and then you put them through the sewing machine that way, that's going to come out looking like that. But if I sew it that way and it comes out the sewing machine, oh, it does come out the right way. I don't know. Oh, I know what I did. I sewed this with that at the bottom, and then when I sew it, it came out the wrong way like that. So it's just be consistent on how you're doing it. So laying these out like that will make your life a lot easier. But with pattern fabric, it'll be a lot easier to see which way you're doing because obviously you've got the right side and the wrong side. But it doesn't matter because, and I'm going to take 3 seconds and just sew these together to show you that it doesn't really matter if you've got these at a different, because it says scrappy in the title of the ruler. So if you've got them the wrong way, it doesn't matter. Right, so that block there is totally different to that block there, but it still works and it still looks great. It just is a mirror image of it because, what? Oh my goodness, right. The bundle, the Star Quilt bundle for £40.99 at the reference of ACXC14, there are 4 left. And you're having to search for it or call the call centre. There are only 4 left of those. And as you can tell, the colours are beautiful. They really work very well together. So there we go. It doesn't matter which way round you sew them. And you can see I've got even more blocks left over to sew those. But before I got to this point, let me show you how I actually got to that level. What? Oh my goodness. We had loads of these rulers. We've only got 30 left of them. So we're definitely going to sell out of those today, which is great because it's such a great product. Again, this rotating cutting mat is going to help you do this process a lot easier. So make sure if you haven't got a rotating cutting mat, do consider getting one because it is going to make your life a lot easier. So over here, you're going to see you've got these wonderful layouts on each of your rulers here. So if I turn this over here, you can see that that one there says A and B. So you know that this is your A and B rulers. So I know that my A is going to go up there, but equally I know that my B is going to go down here along this line here. Oh, you can't see that because of the glare. You can see that my B goes here. So I'll line my B line up here and cut this out. Now, before doing that, what I found worked a little bit easier is taking my long ruler, which I put somewhere, oh, there it is. Couldn't figure out where I put that then. What I did was I first took, because my B line was the first line that I cut, what I did was I put this under the ruler. Everything I'm keeping goes under the ruler, And again, I'm cutting 5, you cut as many as you like and be comfortable with it. Don't just do 5 because you've seen it on the telly. Do what you're comfortable with and make sure you're being safe. So I've now got a nice clean edge over here, and I know I have to cut my B line here. It does help you to lay the rest of the rulers out along the way to know that you're cutting this correctly, because it's just going to make your life that little bit easier. Right, so I know that B is here, C is there, that's my corner there, and then that side's the other half of the block. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get rid of my C block, I'm going to put my hands safely down on the B block, and I'm going to cut there, and then I'm going to cut there. And again, I'm now rotating my mat, not my fabric. Everything stayed exactly the same. And again, rotate my mat. Always trying to cut away from myself to make sure that it's nice and safe. And there's your first piece, B. Okay, so I'm going to start a different pile rather than putting it on top of the old pile there. So I know that this line is square because I've just cut it and I've just squared that line up. So when I put my ruler down, you can see that that line's already been cut. That line we've just cut. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut that there. So I'm trying to use as much of my fabric as I can because I don't like wasting my fabric. But even at this price, you wouldn't want to waste it, and it's so pretty, this fabric. Right, so that's number C over there. So now on our rulers, you'll see we've cut B and we've cut C. So now I know I've got to cut a second C, and I've got to cut a D, and I've got to cut an A. Okay, so you can see I cut these at 11 inches. You do not need them to be 11 inches. You can cut them a lot smaller. Just do what works best for you. Right, so I know that that half of my C line I've just cut, so I can quite happily cut on that line. I know that this line is square, so I can line my ruler up along that line. There we go. So I hold that firm, move my number D and number E block over. I pop that in here. My D and my A, sorry. Okay. And then, as you'll see, I've got to cut 2 more pieces over here. First thing is these little corner bits. Now, I know a lot of people don't consider cutting these corner bits off. It will make your life so much easier. That tiny little bit there will end up being a dog ear, and you don't want dog ears. And it lines up perfectly once you've cut those off. So you can see that's all my waste so far. Negligible. Off to Irene to go make lovely things with it. And these rulers are just so simple to use. So now, when I come now to cut, so I've cut B, I've cut C, and I've cut C. So I can now get rid of my C ruler to one side because I've cut that. Now I know that my D ruler is going to come here. But when I trimmed this, you can see I had a little bit of a line there. So I'm going to move this over so that I don't have that cut from the previous one. So I line that up there, cut that there, cut that there. There we go. Oh, that's almost free. There's always that one little thread. And there we go. So then we've got D. So the only one left to cut is block A. So you've got all this huge piece of fabric left over. Now, I would still cut, I'm going to cut a separate line for this because I can see that that's there. So I don't actually have any lines apart from that line that's been cut on. So I'm going to line that up with there because that was our C line that we cut. Hold that nice and firm. Ooh. And this rotating mat, you can see how much easier your life is having this rotating mat. Now you can see that's my leftover fabric, and you've got so little waste on that. So again, don't cut 11-inch squares. Go down and cut one out first, maybe even just line it out on paper to work out how big you should cut your squares to make sure you can get the most out of your fabric that you can. And there we go, our last cut. And now, not only have I've cut 5 pieces out, which you don't necessarily have to cut that many, but let me show you what I have done. So now I'm going to lay these out. So there's one. Let me slide these over. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a bit high. 4, and then I'll make this as number 5. And then I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see what's happening? I have now cut out 5 blocks in one go, and they're all ready to go. So the reason these are all different colours is because there are 5 different pieces in the Scrap Crazy ruler. And because I've used 5 different layer cake 10-inch pieces to cut them, you can now see I have got 5 different squares cut out. How long did that take? 2-3 minutes? So now that was really nice and quick. So remember, we've now got to be consistent on how we sew these. So I'm not sure, how long have I got left on my demo? 10 minutes, right. Let's see how many we can do in 10 minutes. So what I mean by consistent is, you can see I've got my triangle in the bottom, my square on the top. It's that simple. So you just now, that's your first piece. And because this fabulous 560 has a thread cutter, I'm just pressing my thread cutter between each one. Then I pick my next one up, and again, I've got my triangle on the bottom, I've got my square on the top. And that's what I mean by being consistent. It's how you're picking these pieces up to sew them together, so you don't sew them backwards. Okay, oh no, I'm doing this in the wrong order. So it's 1, 2, 3. So what I've done is I've picked up, that's block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I'm calling out block 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, that's what I mean. And each time I pick it up, I make sure that my triangle's on the bottom and my rectangle's on the top. I line everything up as best I can. Okay, so that's block 5, that's block 4, that's block 3, that's block 1 because it's come out the other order, and that's block 2. So do you see how I've done that? Now I'm going to do this. I have just had a stock report. Our bundle, this gorgeous bundle, we have officially sold out of it at the moment, but we are trying to get it back in stock. It's just some of the colours have run out. So we have got those on order, and we will get those to you as soon as we can. So all I'm doing again is I'm picking up the triangle and already calling this a trapezium, and we're just making sure we're consistent with this one again. So I've got my trapezium at the bottom, my triangle on the top. And because this fabulous machine has a thread cutter, I'm pressing my thread cutter as I go. Again, triangle on the top, trapezium on the bottom. And this fabulous 560 is a really good machine, having these really lovely features to be able to use. I'm now doing block 4, triangle on the top, trapezium on the bottom. So that was block 3 that I've already sewn over there. Triangle on the top, trapezium on the bottom. This is my 5th block. Oh. Oh wow, this ruler is such a great ruler, and we are now down to 20 of them left. Not surprised. So now comes the longest part in this process, is the pressing. So I've pressed my seams open, but because I'm live on air, I'm pressing to the dark side, just because I don't have time to press these open at the moment. So I'm now pressing, that was block 3, and once I've pressed them, I'm laying them back into position so that I know they're in the right block. Now remember, I had 10 minutes when I started this demo. It took me about 2-3 minutes to cut all of these out. And unfortunately, you do need to press these before you start stitching them together. And don't rush them like I am on live telly. They do come together so quickly, which is what I'm trying to show you on this. But equally, I'm just trying to show you that it doesn't really matter which colorway you use on these because it's so beautiful. And I do think that that star quilt bundle that we have is definitely going to be coming back because it is such a gorgeous collection there. First time on air, and look at that, sold out within, what was that, 15 minutes. And all I've done is I've only used 5 colours from this. So what I've done now is I'm now going to sew this section onto this section, but I'm going to do them in order, and again, make sure you're consistent. So my trapezium's on the top, triangular bit on the bottom. Make sure you try and keep your 1/4 inch as consistent as you can. And chain piecing these, it becomes so addictive, it really does. I love this little 560. It's a really cute little machine, this. Oh, really? Oh, and I'm just hearing now the 560, if you buy that, it's actually got 2 meters of free fabric with it as well. It's a really good little machine, this. Okay, so we've done block 3. We're now doing block 4. So these are, the machine is £519. That's a really good price for this. Right, so this bit goes there. And now I'm putting the last piece on here. And again, you can see I've just used the same format of making sure that I had the trapezium on the top and then the triangular bit that I had previously on there. Oh, I didn't press that open. Right, so again, the longest process in this whole thing, and that's what's great about this little June Taylor thing, is when you don't actually have the space to have a separate ironing board. Oh, have you? Oh, I'm just hearing Hayley's got this at home. Fits perfectly in your kitchen worktop. It's great. It's a really lovely piece. So there we go. That's the second one. That's the 5 and 4 done. Now I'm doing number 3, pressing that. And then I'm doing number 2. How many minutes have I got? I've got 2 minutes left. Not sure I'm going to make all 5 of them go in 2 minutes and press them, but I'm going to give it a good go, that's for sure. So what I'll do is I'll finish this block and just show you. Well, you saw how quick that was to do. It's a really, really simple block to put together. You can see the colorways of the remaining 4 going together. But what's great is, now let me get this right. So if we set them like that, you can see that bit there. We can line that bit up there. and that bit like that, and then that bit like that, you've created this little windmill. But equally, if you want to rotate it, that you've got the big one to make a much more obvious rainbow windmill. It's so easy just to rotate these around, and you just play with them how you like, because you don't have to have, that's the wrong way around, sorry. You don't have to have them that way. Let me put that one there. So you can see you've got the long ones there, but you can have them how you like. You can do them like that, and like with that. You can do them how you like. That's the great thing about this ruler. You're not tied to doing them in any specific way. It's a really, really clever ruler, and you can see it's taken no time to make those blocks, and that was 5 of them. Really great, great product. This brand new to Sewing Street today. This is, where have I put the ruler now? There we go, sorry. I've just got all these bits here. So whilst we're live today, we have less than 20 of these available. You're getting these 3 fabulous little rulers to go with it. I'm just going to put the, forgive me while I take my rotary cutting mat apart so I can show you our lovely rulers. Actually, I'm going to do this much more professionally and put this fabulous white fabric down to show you the rulers. So you can see you've got your AB block there. You've got your C block there, and you've got your D block there. All of these have got the Creative Grids technology there with the non-slip dot grip dot. Sorry, I can't. Non-slip grip dot there, and you've got this grip technology on the side of each ruler as you go. So it means that it's a lot safer for you when you're pressing down to make it work. And you don't need to use layer cakes. You can literally use any size piece of fabric you like, as long as it fills the template for the A, which is the whole template. Up to that line there is the B. With the C, you can do that. And if you wanted to put 2 pieces of fabric together and cut on the fold there, you can cut that out the same as well. So that's the ruler there. You get these cutting instructions as well with these gorgeous things in the middle, the QR code for a video on it, and you've seen all these amazing blocks that we make with that ruler. Really great product, and as you can tell, I am loving testing all these rulers because look how much I've got. And we've got all these left behind to finish sewing up as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. So now we've done the 8-inch there, I'm going to hang on to that. So my 6-inch ruler, which I've shown a few times before, but I love it. So that's the 8-inch, there's the 6-inch. So the 6-inch ruler is very similar to the 8-inch one. You just end up with one more piece of it, and you make a totally different look to the 6-inch. So this is just a scrappy quilt that I made with some fabric we had previously, and you can just see it's all completely random, totally different, each block coming in totally differently. These are what you're going to make from it, all these different blocks. And you can see the different ways that you can make them. And they work really, really well when you've got some high contrast fabrics like these. Works really, really well. And we did some as well in some jewel solids as well. Really nice colorways, just to be able to show how scrap crazy it goes. Oh, it matches my shirt. It really does. That's very funny. So there we go. You can see these are what you're making with this little scrap crazy 6-inch ruler. So the ruler bits that you're getting the A, this is the C piece there. This is the A and the E piece. Oh, I've got that upside down, but there we go. So that's the A and the E piece there. And then you get the B piece as well. Oops, I'll get that the right way around. That's the B piece. Will that rest quietly on there while I grab the D piece? And then you get the D piece as well. So you're getting those 4 rulers there. These are really, really, really easy to use. You can see I've cut loads of samples on that as well. Don't forget with Creative Grids, you always get a set of instructions here. You've got that's the diagram of how you're laying everything out. That's the QR code of how you're doing it. That's how your scrap crazy is going to go together. This was designed by a lady called Karen Montgomery. And inside you've got the wonderful instructions on how you can cut these out. And you've got different methods if you just want to use one aspect of it, like you can use just the D's or the B's or the A's. That just shows you how you would make different alternative shapes with it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the fabric that we had in our bundle there, and I'm going to just cut out a square of fabric here. Perfect. Right, so what I've done now, all I've done is I've just cut out 6 layers of fabric there from some of the fabric from that bundle over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to square this block up. So I'm cutting these to just over 8 inches. You don't need something that big. And where's my rotating cutting mat? It's because I disassembled it, that's why. Especially when you're doing things like this, the rotating cutting mat is key. There we go. So I've cut that bit there. Right, no, I'll take it a bit wider. There we go. All I'm doing now is just creating some straight edges here to make sure that when I line everything up, it'll work. And again, don't cut 6 layers if you're not comfortable. I am very proficient with rotating cutting mats and rotating rulers, so I feel very comfortable with it. Please don't do it if you're not. Right, so I've cut my squares ready together. Now I know that I've cut these 2 sides, so my C block will go nicely in there. My B block will go nicely there. My D block will go nicely there. And my A block will go nicely there. So now I know they all work. I'm going to take my A and B off the mat for the minute, rotate my board. I know that these 2 lines are perfectly square because I've just cut them. And line my C up. Oh, I hear a stock update coming through. What we got? So the 6-inch, gosh, this is selling so well already. So the 6-inch Scrap Crazy, we've got how many? 16 of these left. And of the 8-inch ones, we've got 15 of those left now. So those are selling really well. Not surprised, because it's a really lovely ruler. But I'm going to show you as well, when I'm finished this, I'm going to show you a really neat trick as well, because you can actually use your 6 and your 8-inch rulers together by doing a little border with your 6-inch rulers on your 8-inch Scrap Crazy as well. Oh, there's always one thread. So there we go. And then again, I've now got my A block here. And my B block. Before I cut anything when I'm on a new area, I always double check that both rulers are going to fit on. So I now cut that through there. Cut that through there. Oh, well done. There we go. I think a lot of people have been waiting for the extra large cutting mat to be back in stock. I hear that's selling really well at the moment, so congratulations. I'm glad we got that back in. Nice little deal that you've got there. And then that's my A block going there. And then lastly, I'm going to cut my B block out. So I've just cut that. So you can see just how easy it is to cut all these templates out. Oh, and there we go. But do make sure you can see, certainly on the B block, there are some corners that you need to cut out as well. So exactly like I did with the 8-inch block, what I'm going to show you here is block. Oh, I've cut 2. Okay. I don't know whether I've cut enough colours here, but in my lovely bundles that I've got over here, I will easily be able to make those up. And then there's the green. So you can see, you can just add as many colours as you like all the way through this process. I've got this gorgeous yellow as well. Nope, got the yellow. Got this fabric as well, which will go quite nicely. So again, just like we did in the previous block, we're just going to then pull out all these colours together, sew them together, and you're going to have a really, really interesting fabric choice here. And because I've chosen to do solids, you can just pick any colour you like to make this work. And then again, I can put that there and that there. And I'm just using this as an example to see how easy it is to pick any colours you like to be able to make this block up. And then just sewing those nice and easily together. The great thing about the 8-inch and the 2-inch blocks together, the 8-inch and the 6-inch blocks together, is that if you do 6 of the 8-inch blocks, you can put 8 of the 6 on the border. So you can use both of these rulers together to make something really, really, really interesting. And this is now the fabulous 6-inch Scrap Crazy ruler from Creative Grids. Lots of tools in the next hour. Very excited about it. We're going to take a little break and get the set reset up. See you in a few minutes.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday. Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand, because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick unpick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is @Sewing Street. We have Facebook. We've got two Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All three of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those three and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you. Good morning, welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time this morning, my name is John Cole Morgan. Welcome to Sewing Street. If you haven't shopped with us before, our website is www.sewingstreet.com, failing which you can call our UK-based call centre on 0800 001 4433. If any of you would like to stay in touch with us on our social media platforms, we've got our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/SewingStreetTV. And the Instagram and YouTube channel are available as well. We've got it's @Sewing Street on Instagram. Failing that, you can get us on our YouTube channel as well, which is also, our channel name is Sewing Street. And every video we've ever made, every tutorial, every class we've ever run, everything, all going back to Valentine's Day of this year, and you'll be able to see every single show that we've had on there. So today we have got the most fabulous, fabulous show. I am so excited to bring this to you. We have the backing tape, which is here. Sorry, I was playing with it on the earlier. Now, any of you who have done quilting before know whenever you make a quilt, whenever you buy a quilt, you end up with a piece of wadding left over. And you end up with a piece of wadding which is a nice big size, but never big enough to do the quilt that you need to do it with. So it's always that little bit of waste. However, we have, first of all, our fabulous June Taylor pressing board. We have got the most fabulous product. This is called the Heat Press, and it's to put batting together. So all I've done, just for our demonstration, I've cut two small pieces of batting. Now, many of you don't know, but there is a right and a wrong side of wadding. When you feel the wadding, you'll feel that one side is soft and smooth, and one side has a little bit of a bump to it. The bump is the top side. And the reason being is what they do is they create that little bit of a bump on there in order to help your quilting puff up, which is why there's a top and a bottom to it. So I didn't know that until recently. Somebody told me that. So the great thing with this is what I do is make sure that they go in the right way. I always like to have it on the top, but I then put my binding, this basting tape, I put it on the back. Bit like sellotape, really. But, so there we go. That's our piece that we've got on there. And then what you're doing, so this is the pack you're getting. You're getting 10 yards of, we're getting 10 yards of 3/4 inch wide cloth tape. This is when you press with an iron. So again, let me just cut this to the width that I need it to be, then I will tell you about it. So there we go. So you can see you're using a very small amount of it on this piece, but all you would do is line that up. I only use it on the back. You are welcome to use it on the front and the back to get that extra security. It's entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong. It's a really strong product, so doing it just on one side will work fine. The recommended requirements on using this for your iron, I'm just going to read this through you here. Irons with Teflon plates can use a low cotton setting to fuse the tape. Irons without a Teflon tape, if you're using polyester, to do it on smooth tape over batting without pressure. Sorry. Use the heat of the iron until the glue is set. Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing. I got confused. If you're using synthetics mixed batting, use with a wool setting on the iron. And if you're using cotton, wool, silk, use with a wool setting on the iron. My little wonderful, what are we calling? I've forgotten the name of this. My little Prim iron. This does have a Teflon plate on it, so I'm using that on a low cotton setting. So you don't want to overdo it. But just to make sure that I protect everything, I'm just using a little bit of gauze on it. So again, this tape, you'll feel there's a right and a wrong side when you feel it. This bit that I'm rubbing at the moment has got a rough side on it, where the other side is nice and smooth. The rough side has your little glue dots on it. So all I'm doing is I'm pressing my wadding together as close as it'll go, and I'm putting the tape over the top there, and then I'm just putting my little bit of gauze on the top there. And then I'm taking my iron. Now I'm not moving my iron and I'm not pressing my iron, because if you press the iron, you're going to compress the wadding. And I'm just holding it there for about 8 to 10 seconds. There we go. I was going to say I was hoping that hadn't stuck. But the great thing is look, that holds perfectly. You can give it a little bit of a tug. Again, I'm a little bit skeptical. I always like things to be extra safe. You can just put a second layer there if you want to. But when you rub your finger over it, you can barely feel that on there. It's a really, really soft product. And it's going to go into your quilt as well, which is great. Because the thing is, you don't want to have a product that comes on and it leaves, you know, like when you put a masking tape or something like that on, you wouldn't want to have something that was ridged or have a bit of a feel to it, which would give you, I literally, if I close my eyes and feel that, I cannot tell you where it begins and where the wadding ends. So it doesn't melt into your fabric, but it just gently blends into it beautifully. This is one we pressed earlier. And it just works absolutely beautifully. Really, really great product, this. And certainly for myself, I have got huge chunks of wadding left all over the place. So for me, this product is absolutely genius because all those offcuts. And it doesn't matter if you've got pieces this size. Because let's say, for example, okay, well, because you don't need to seal the whole seam. So I'm going to just put those two together, make sure I've got these the right way around. There we go. And I'm going to do a second seam over here. It's a bit like jigsaw piecing, I suppose, for quilt backing. And again, make sure you've got the glue going the right way. There's my little gauze. Oh, am I pressing in the right place there? Yes, I am. And again, I'm not pressing down too hard. I'm just holding the iron over it to activate those glue bubbles. Oh. And that's the great thing. Something went a little bit awry there. I actually turned my iron off. That was what it is. My iron isn't working. Oh, trying to be elf and safety and all that. So we go. We just wait for the little red light to go on the Prim iron. What's everybody up to today? What are you all doing in your sewing studios? Are we all staying in and sewing? Got anything good on the go? It's a gorgeous day from when I came in. It was gorgeous. So I'm hoping you're out enjoying the sunshine. It's wonderful. There we go. Has that worked? Yes, it has. Turning my iron off again. So if I reach to use the iron, it's because I've turned it off. And again, you can see that's worked beautifully. But it's just such a, you can't even see the seam on it. It's great. You can't even see the seam. And the great thing is fine, I've got a little bit of a wobble there, but you can then just maneuver that to work on this side. You just manipulate that on and then stick another piece over there. And the great thing is you literally cannot feel this on there. So once you've put these all together and quilted it, you're not going to feel a thing. It's a really, really fantastic product, this. I've personally been asking for this to come in for ages. This is the 3/4 inch wide cloth tape, 10 yards of fusible by heat press. This is the little box that it's going to come in. Brand new today. Really, really, really pleased. And I'm hoping they're not going to notice when the studio sample disappears to get all my pieces in my studio put together. So this is what you're getting. This is available on the website now. $7.90. $7.90? Is that all? No, that can't be. Really? Goodness me, sorry. $7.99 for 10 yards. Gosh, that's a really great product. So there we go. We've got that product there. $7.99. Really, really lovely product. So I'm going to put my iron back on because I've got one of my favourite things coming up. I'm very excited. Where is it? Sorry, found it. We're doing this now. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is, I love these little quilt labels. I love these little quilt labels, and what I'm going to show you here to do. So many of us have used Bondaweb before, many have not. So I'm going to show you how to use your Bondaweb. So all I'm doing here, oh, I've done this the wrong way around. Silly me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, oops. Right, so I'm just cutting a piece of this off. And what you're doing next is you're getting your Bondaweb. That's what you're going to get. A little bag of Bondaweb there. This is 70 centimetres by 30 centimetres of Bondaweb. Oh, sorry, no, that's not the right size. How much is this? So it's 1.2 metres by 20 centimetres, 17.5 centimetres. So this is what your Bondaweb's going to look like. So that's the Bondaweb you're going to get. This is 17.5 centimetres. So you can see there, I'm going to need this little bit here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pair of scissors. Right, so that's what I'm cutting out. So the reason I said I did that wrong was because when you get to Bondaweb, there's, again, a top and a bottom to it. So you'll feel that there's like a sticky side and there's a flat side that's got parchment on it. Right. So what I'm going to do now is, firstly, I'm going to get, because I love my June Taylor mat too much, I'm getting a little piece of gauze underneath it. I'm laying down my label. Got my label there. I'm putting my label right side down. And then I've got my Bondaweb, so I'm taking the gluey side, the tacky side, and I'm putting that there. And you can see I've now lined that up to the edge. And then I'm folding this over, keeping that in place. So with many of you have got, anybody who's used this before, most of you have got a Teflon pressing sheet, or you've got some way of doing it that works best for you. I find, well, just because I've got this at the moment, I've got this lovely little piece of gauze here. I'm just wrapping it around so that way you don't end up with any traces of glue on your ironing board or your iron. So, because we've, certainly in my, well, actually in my sewing day that we have a weekly sewing day, or we did have a weekly sewing day, and we now have a separate iron and ironing board for Bondaweb because it does, unfortunately, if you're not careful, it can go everywhere. And it does make things a little bit gunky, so just make sure you protect it from the beginning. And again, with this, you're just gently pressing down. You're not forcing it. You're not moving it side to side. You're just pressing it down to activate that glue, to get the glue going. It does feel a bit like a magic trick because you just keep going round and it just glues all the way around. Right, so once I've glued everything down, I do give it a bit of a shaky to the side. And now I am going to turn the iron off because I think that's me done with the iron. Oh, what have I pressed that against? Oh, there was a funny little smell in here a little while ago. Now I know what it was. I'd pressed the iron against the plastic box of the thread underneath there. So Kat, that lovely little press mark, that was me. Sorry. So we have now got this lovely piece of Bonder web. You can see I've got the Bonder web here, completely stuck onto our piece here. Now, there are many ways to take the paper off. I always hope that one of the corners is curled, like it has here, and all I'm doing is I'm going to tear that off. But before I tear it off, I'm going to trim out my label. And I do need my iron. I don't know why I'm doing this. Right, so I'm going to now cut this along the grey area here. Now, the contention here is, do you use fabric scissors or do you not? Well, you know I'm a person of excess, so I have the Bonder web scissors, which does both. So I have a Bonder web scissors, I have a wadding scissors, I have a cotton trimming thread, and I also have a rotary cutter for Bonder web, and I have a rotary cutter for foundation paper piecing, a rotary cutter for cutting fabric. It's mad, I'm just silly. Oh, and if my husband's listening, you know none of this. Sorry, darling. So there we go. And all I'm doing now is just trimming down this line. There we go. So we are now at the point that we've now got that paper still on there, and I'm wanting to attach this label. We're going to pretend this is a quilt back. It's not a quilt back, obviously. But it's a tiny quilt with a really beautiful label. So I'm going to position that there, but before I do that, in theory, this should come off very easily on live telly with everybody watching. Oh, come on. People just take a little pin and scrap through the middle, don't they? But I don't think those people do this live on telly. Has that worked? Well, we're about to find out if that worked. I hope it worked, because that would be a bit embarrassing if it didn't. Yes, it has. I can feel it. Right. So we position that in the middle. And again, this is the same piece of gauze I used before. And just like I did the back, I'm going to pop my iron on there for about 10 seconds, 8 to 10 seconds, on each area that I'm wanting it to go down on. So the great thing with this is because it's such a thin piece of the Bonder web, you're able to take a lot more care in how you cut it to make sure you're getting the most out of it. But you don't really need a huge amount for pieces like that. And that has perfectly stuck down, and it will stay like that for almost ever. I do like to satin stitch all the way around it as well. But you don't need to, because the Bonder web, if it comes a little bit loose, you get your iron out, pop it down, and it's sorted. It's a really, really great product. We've been waiting to get it in for ages. This one is 17.5 centimeters by 1.2 meters. You've got all the using instructions on the back of it. It's going to come to you in this little bag, and you're going to get it as a strip like this. And it's just a really, really great product that I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with. And you can do so much with it. Loads of different appliques. And I'm just seeing here this person's doing something fabulous on their jeans at the back there, you can see. So there's loads of different things that you can do with it. So this is £2.99 for the Bonder web. But what's really great about this is if you've never used Bonder web before, because a lot of us haven't, this is a great way to start. It's a nice little trial one. Nice little trial piece to do that. Come on, in you go. Right, so that's the Bonder web there. Do consider doing a satin stitch around everything you Bonder web down, just for sake. Again, our June Taylor pressing mat, love that, really cute there. Before you saw me using the fabulous Fiskars cutting scissors. We've had these on before, we've sold hundreds of them. Such a great product. These are the right-handed ones, the $14.99. Great quality, really lovely. And it's $14.99 is such a great price on them. And you can see they cut so effortlessly through this. Really lovely. And it's got that nice feel and that nice sound of... And you know what's really great is the thing is, I know we sell them and that's obviously our job, but you can always tell when any of us are looking for a pair of scissors, what we do is immediately we reach for our white-handed pair of Fiskars scissors. They are a fabulous product, really good. We had that as on air a few months ago. And really great product. You definitely won't regret that. So now I'm just going to be using, you can see I'm trimming this up because I need to make sure that everything is as square as it can be. And what I've got is I'm using my favorite rotary cutter here. This is the Millwood, this one, the Millwood. Oh wow, fab. The Millwood is back in stock today. Sorry, that was what Hayley was just telling me now. Really great product this. How much are they? They were $8.99. $8.99. Really great price, as you know. Really great product this. And it is definitely the most affordable one that we do. And it is a lovely product. And it's the one I use all the time. And for $8.99, you can then pop the bond, you know, you can have a Bonder web one as well, because I do think it's quite nice having the different ones. My only top tip as well is if you're going to use these fabulous labels, maybe what you want to do is when you get these labels, we've got these beautiful thin, small ones as well. So what I would be doing, if there was a pen on set, I would do it. Oh, there is. I would be putting, can I write on these? Write on this one. So this would be, so I'd be putting Bonder web on that, getting a little bit of a tag on that, sticking that on with some backing fabric and tying it around that one there. So it's a really great way. And of course, this is the air erasable one. And as a top tip from me, do not do this at home. If you take your iron and put that on an air erasable, it's there forever. So there we go. Don't do that at home unless you want it to be permanent. So there we go. So that's a great way of doing it. So these at $8.99. These are left and right-handeds. I think it is. Oh, actually, I don't. I think you can rotate them. I think safely you can rotate these. I'm 99% sure you can rotate these. So that's the right-handed, that's the left-handed. I think you're okay because it's universal on that way. And you've got this lovely guard as well when you're using it, because I'm fastidious on making sure that everything is safe in the studio to be able to do it. And then this is the 8.5-inch ruler. And you can see all I'm doing now is I'm squaring up against this block. And you can see I'm just doing that, and it's got these fabulous description, what are we calling these? No, the markings, sorry. These detailings that you've got all these lovely detailings on there. And then on the back again, we've got these fabulous non-slip grip dots on the back. There we go, you can see one there. And you've got them all over the thing, and you've got them all over the edge here as well. Really great, because it then makes your ruler that much more safe when you're trying to cut everything along. This one has also got the lovely hook that you can hang your ruler up on the wall. And it's just such a great product to use. I prefer the 8.5 to the 6.5, just because there are occasionally blocks that you need to cut which are 6 3/4 or 7 1/4 or 7.5, and I do think just paying that £1 or £2 extra to get that slightly larger ruler, that would be the way to do it. Really great ruler that. And see, I keep turning the iron off. Now I'm going to turn the iron back on, and I'm going to show you these fabulous these pins, because right, so We all use pins when we are trying to, well, most of us use pins for setting seams and doing things like that. But the number of times that we're looking for a pin that is actually not going to melt under the iron, it's quite difficult to find them. So this pin, these are the Magic pins, Magic Quilting pins by Taylor Saville. There are 50 of these. These are 0.6 millimeter wide and 48 millimeters long. But what's so great about these is you can see that these have got, let me try it, there you go. It has got a little bit of movement on it, so they do bend a bit, but not to the point that they're going to damage it. They've got a very sharp point as well, which is great. So let's say we're just trying to pin these together. So these are really good to use. Like that. But that's, you know, obviously pins do the same things. But the pins that you're usually using, you can't do that with. Look, everybody took a deep inhale of breath there. But look, they haven't moved. And what's nice is that when you try and pull them out, sometimes when you do that, your fingers actually scald because you've got that glass that's absorbed the heat. These rubber ones haven't. They're just completely heat resistant on there. And you can see that that's worked really, really well. And they've got the nice little grips on them. Lines everything up perfectly. So there are 50 of them. Oops, hang on. 50 of them that come in this really lovely little box. Because often we get pin boxes, but the pin box doesn't actually seal. And then the minute you've used it, you then can't actually use the pins again. But this is in a nice storage container, really, really great. These are 0.6 millimeters by 48 millimeters. There are 50 pins. They're called 1 3/4" quilting pins. You can see they've got comfort grip handles there. We've got the heat resistant. They've got the designer storage case. And they are just really, really lovely. And proof again, you can easily just put your iron, and I promise the iron is on. You can see it is on before people. So there we go. You can go and press over that easily, no problem whatsoever. Really, really great little product that. We've sold out of the slightly thicker ones, I think they were. Sold out of those before, and I can see why. It's a really lovely, lovely product that. So you've seen me use this rotating cutting mat all day. Where have I put it? There it is. Really, really lovely product this, and I cannot rave about it enough. You've been able to see with all the different cuttings that I've done today through this show and the previous one, this is paramount for anything that you're going to do with regards to cutting any shapes. It's so much easier to be able to just cut the shapes out doing this, and if you know you're not doing that and then rotating it round. Hang on, let me do this properly. So if you're going to be cutting there, and then you're wanting to cut there, and there, you can just tell that you're not moving the fabric in the slightest. Any form of your trim tools that you're using, this is the one you want to do because it just rotates constantly, and I've never had a problem with any of these. They're just a fantastic, fantastic product. But it's mainly for safety, to make sure that when you're pressing all these, that you're safe and that you're not cutting towards you, because some of these rulers do require cutting in odd angles. You put it on here, you put your ruler on top, you rotate your mat, you're safely always cutting away from you. It's got the 12-inch measurements on here as well. So you can see you've got the 1 to 12 that way, and you've got 1 to 12 that way, 1 to 12 that way, 1 to 12 that way. So it's completely left and right-handed. You've got your 45-degree line at the top, 30-degree line here, 60-degree line. If you are brave and you want to do your circles, you can easily trim those from there. Very, very, very nice rotating cutting mat. That highly, highly recommend them. Also back in stock today is our lovely large rotating, our lovely large cutting mat. Not rotating cutting mat, because I don't think we could rotate that very well. We've got this fabulous mat. This is 34 inches by 22. It's got all of your angles that you need. You've got your 45-degree here. You've got your 30-degree there, you've got your 60-degree there, your 60-degree there. This is self-healing. You've got your inches on this side, and when I rotate this round, you can see I've got my metric on this side for centimeters. You've got your left and right-handed on here. You can see you've got a circle over here if you've got on one side, and you've got the number on that side. So the great thing is as well, if you're looking for a mat or you've got a mat already, you'll be able to know when your mat is too small because you're always moving the fabric around. What's so great about this is you can get a huge piece of fabric, lay it out, you can cut out what you need, and you don't have to worry. So if you're cutting out these labels, you just so simply to do that. And then if you want to cut out the Bondaweb one here that I cut, you can easily do that and you haven't had to move anything. It's just perfect that you're not on top of yourselves when you're doing it, and you can then just very simply cut out there. I don't suggest using a rotary cutter like that if you aren't confident with it, but if you are confident with it, go ahead. But again, you can see it's just a nice mat that you can lay everything out on if you're looking at a project or you're working, or if you've got blocks to make, like all of those, the different blocks that I did today for the kaleidoscope, they're great to lay out and to be able to see where you are. Lovely, lovely cutting mat, £37.99 today, and it's finally back in stock. We've got 1 day P&P of $3.95, so whether you order the rotating cutting mat or the little baby box of pins, they're the same price for postage, so it doesn't matter, you're not paying more because the item's bigger, or if you've got a sewing machine even, it's included in that. So tomorrow, pardon me, tomorrow we've got the fabulous Vicky. She's going to be doing the 8 o'clock show with Rainbow Fabrics, and then 9 o'clock she's got Cara Ackerman's new Sashiko panels, and then 10 o'clock she's got sewing room tools. So I'll definitely be tuning in for that. I can't thank you all enough for your time today. This has been fabulous. Back in on Friday for Block of the Week. Really looking forward to that. And thank you all so much for your time today. Have a great day and keep safe. Bye-bye.